You do know that discovering planets and moons and constellations and stars in modern times, y'all do know that it is considered as great scientific discoveries. Y'all know that, right? Do everybody understand that? Everybody on stage, do y'all understand that?
Yeah, you got a glorious discovery. You want to name it after a glorious creature?
Exactly. So when they the reason why I'm telling y'all that, so when they name these things after gods, this is a big deal. This ain't something that you should just shrug out. Oh, it ain't no big deal. No. Remember, we associate the moon, the stars, and the sun with our God. Why is it that every time they come across a moon, a star, or a sun, or a planet, why do they keep thinking of paganism? And this is something they're doing as a community. This ain't one person doing this. They're all doing it. So they're sacrificing animals for the sake of the benefit of humans. Why did priests sacrifice animals for the sake of the benefit of humans? That's why they call it a sin offering. You sinned, yet an animal has to die. Something's wrong with you, yet an animal has to die. Scientists, something's wrong with you, so an animal has to die for you to get better. You got polio. We got to test the cure on something. You know, viruses and bacteria, they found vaccines for. They test it on animals first. They don't test it on humans first. They test it on animals first. So an animal has to die to benefit you. That's religion. An animal has to die to benefit us. And you're wearing the white lab coat, which you ripped off from religion. You even say it symbolizes the same thing. So now they're wearing white, and they're referring to what they're doing to these animals as sacrifice. I would have expected scientists to use euthanize, put to sleep, or even terminate to refer to killing animals for research. But no, the modern American scientists talk and write about sacrificing rats, mice, fruit flies, and even plant seeds. Why are they using a religious word to describe what they're doing to these animals? Science and atheism are religion. And I'm just continuing from what we were talking about last week. We did a class last week titled What Atheists Really Believe, and we proved to you that atheists really do believe in some kind of creator, some kind of intelligent designer. They're not stupid. They know somebody or something put this here, but what they really deny is not the existence of a creator or a designer, regardless of what they say. What they really deny is that this creator or designer will intervene to do anything to or for his creation. In other words, they think there's a creator, but he's just indifferent to his creation. He doesn't care. He doesn't get involved. Maybe he even left. But no real thinking person who investigates and analyzes what we know as creation can deny that it had an intelligent designer. No real thinking person can do that. No real thinking person can claim that something can have a purpose without somebody or something putting forth that purpose. That's just common sense. And as I predicted, there were going to be people who were going to come on the stage and change entire definitions of words to make their atheistic worldview stick. And we didn't let them get away with it. They tried. You know, we'll give them a C for effort, but ultimately they failed. Because you cannot get away from this stuff. So now we're just going to pull the curtain back on all of it. Because I'm tired of these people playing games. Especially the scientific community. Right? Because if I came to you right now, and I'm going to use Kevin as an example, Kevin J. If I came to you right now and I describe myself as this, let me tell you something, Kevin. This is the description I'm going to give of myself, and I want you to tell me, what am I? You know how to do the games, the riddles. Somebody give you a description, and they'll say, what am I? Now listen to this. I am a person that give a lot of reverence and glory to a God or gods. Now, I ain't talking no God I made up. I mean actual gods in existence. I am also a person that sacrifice animals so that people will not have to die or that people will not have to suffer. I am a person that is the interpreter or the messenger or the speaker for those gods. I am a person that also wears white as a symbol of purity. What am I, Kevin?
You are a Levite.
Nope, I'm a scientist. And I'm going to show you that everything I just listed, that's what the scientists do. All of it. I'm going to prove to you that they reverence God. I'm going to show y'all all of this. All from the heavens above, all the way down to microorganisms and bacteria. They reverence God. And atheists follow scientists. So if you are an atheist and you don't believe in God or gods or any deities or spirits, you always fall back on science. That's what you do. So whatever the scientists believe, that's what you have to go with, because that's who you quote, that's who you reference when somebody tries to bring religion to you. But I'm here to tell y'all, and I'm going to prove this, and y'all are going to say, man, I did not know this stuff. They are running mad game. Science and atheism are religions. If it glorifies God, if it has wise men who are interpreting what they think is the will or the movements or the actions of God, if they're wearing certain uniforms or garments that represent purity and honesty, I'm going to show y'all that, then that is a religion. You ain't going to keep dropping God in my face and slapping the name of deities on everything you do and everything you discover and tell me that's not a theistic view. Just like we had the guy that came in here last week, came on the stage. He said he's an atheist, but his clubhouse name had the name Sun God in it. S-U-N-G-O-D, God.
Right.
A true atheist, especially a scientist, would not try to glorify or promote any kind of deities, because their whole aim is to disprove the existence of deities. That's their whole aim. Like Brother Josh, I am a believer. I believe in God. If I made some new discovery in the Bible, why would I name it after a famous atheist? Why would I do that? Didn't they say Stephen Hawking was an atheist?
I believe so, yeah.
So if I discovered something new in the scriptures that nobody ever understood before or seen before, why would I call this the Stephen Hawking principle? Why would I do that? But you're going to see in this class, every time a so-called scientist makes any discovery, whether it's in space or under a microscope, you know what they do? They slap the name of a god on it. They sacrifice animals. They wear white. They are the intellectual leaders of a community, the wise men. The Bible would call them wise men. And atheists are so dumb. Yes, I said it, get offended, and then come at me. But atheists are so dumb that you can't even see that you're following people that are slapping you with religion left and right. Now, if they did it one or two times, then you can say, okay, they're just mocking it, or maybe they just love mythological lore, right? But I'm going to show you in modern times, they keep doing it. They keep doing it. They can't stay away from the God. I don't understand how people who claim they don't believe in this stuff can't stay away from it. They keep throwing it at us. We don't even know that some of the things that we talk about every day in science, in anatomy, in biology, all of this stuff is named after pagan gods, and it's named by scientists who claim they don't believe in any of this stuff. You mean to tell me that as a scientist who don't believe in any deities, the best name you can come up with something that you discovered is after something you don't believe in? Who are they kidding? So I'm going to show y'all this right now. We're going to get into this, and we're going to look up words, because I'm showing you secrets revealed. This is what they don't want you to know. This is why we got a bunch of ignorant people who come in our room and jump on our stages, and they don't even really know what they believe. And we proved that. Remember last week, Kevin J, with the guy, he didn't even know what an atheist was.
Right. Until we read the definitions to him.
Right. Yep. He didn't know what an agnostic was. He was claiming he's an atheist, but the worldview he was describing was agnostic.
Right.
And then he tried to say that he's not agnostic, but he's atheist. Because we asked the brother, do you believe God created everything? He said, I don't believe God created anything. Well, that means you believe in evolution, right? No, I don't really believe in that either. Well, dang, that's agnostic.
Right.
Didn't even know. Talked to us about what, 40, 45 minutes? And then finally he said he had to go. A lot of these atheists don't know what they believe. They think they're denying God. But I don't care what you say, Mr. Atheist. When you say you deny the Bible and you deny God and all other religious tenets and deities, I can accept that. But when you fall back on science and scientists, you fell right into Joshua's trap. I got you again. So now when we get done with them today, y'all, they can't even have faith in their so-called scientists anymore. I'm taking it all from you and leaving you with nothing. You're going to be a delusional, shaking, shivering baby when I'm done with you. So first we're going to go to a Tim online, and we're going to look up science. You know, the word science. I want people to understand what science means. Because a lot of people don't even know what it means. And it's a shame that people don't know what science means. But they use it all the time. People say, I believe in science. Words have meaning. This is a Tim online. We're getting the etymology of the English word science. For all y'all that don't know what etymology is, sign up for my online course. We're going to have a whole study on it. Right? But the short answer is it's the origin of words. Right? It's the origin of words. So now, we're going to science. Look what it says under science. It says, middle 14th century, state or fact of knowing. That's what science means. It's the state or fact of knowing. That means you know something. You don't believe it. You don't have faith in it, per se. You know it. Look what it says. It also means what is known, knowledge of something, acquired by study. Interesting. Knowledge of something acquired by study. Let me make sure I read that again, just in case it went over some people's head. Knowledge of something acquired by study. So let me show you what else it means. It says information, also assurance of knowledge. It says assurance of knowledge. When you have assurance of something, that means you're confident about it. So science also means confident in something. Right? But they don't like to play the word game with me because when you're assured of something, that's another way of saying you have faith in it. But we're going to get off into that. Don't y'all worry. Look what it says. Certitude, certainty, right? You know, certainty, like you're certain about something. From Old French, science, knowledge, learning, application, corpus of human knowledge. 12th century from Latin, scientia, knowledge, a knowing, expertness, from science, genitive, scientist, intelligent, skilled, present participle of sere, to know. So all of this just basically sums up to knowledge, knowing something, having intelligence. But look what else it says. And I like this. This way I'm going to get biblical a little bit. It says the original notion in the Latin verb probably is to separate one thing from another, to distinguish. Why? Separate one thing from another. Notice it said earlier, knowledge acquired by study. Now we're reading that it means, the original notion in the Latin verb probably is to separate one thing from another, to distinguish, or else to incite. It says this is related to scindere, to cut, divide, to cut, split, sources also of Greek skitvian, to split, rend, cleave, Gothic, Skyden, Old English, Eden, to divide, separate. Now, why did I read all these definitions about dividing and separating? Well, because earlier it said, is knowledge of something acquired by study. So we got the word study, and we got the word separate or divide. Study and divide. Study and divide. What do we got, Kevin? Study and what?
Divide.
Okay. And you acquire it by studying. Why does this sound so familiar to me? Let me tell you why. Let's go to 2 Timothy 2 and 15 and see what Paul told Timothy to do. This is the definition of science. Why am I showing you this? You're going to see in a minute. 2 Timothy 2 and 15. Read that one verse when you get there, Kevin.
2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Study to show yourself approved to God. Okay. Knowledge acquired by study. Okay, we got that covered. What else?
That needeth not to be ashamed.
Mm-hmm.
Rightly dividing the word of truth.
Rightly what?
Dividing.
What?
Dividing.
Dividing. So what do we got? Study and divide. We look at the word science and we broke it down. And what do we get? Knowledge acquired by study, and also it comes from Latin and Greek words, which means divide, because you're separating or dividing fact from fiction, truth from falsehood, from wrong. That's what you're doing. So why am I showing you this? Because I'm trying to show you that in the very sense of the definition of the word science and the word it derives from, we as believers are scientists. This is a science that I'm teaching y'all and will be teaching y'all in the online course. See, when you think about religion, you don't think about scientists. But when you look up the word, that's exactly what it means. And see, this is why atheists don't like me, because I make them stick to the words they use and what those words mean. So they have to start redefining words. When you have to start making up your own definition for words in the middle of a discussion or a debate, you have lost. You are defeated. Conversation over. That's why I be so dismissive of people. Now you're your own source. You're your own reference. So this is what Paul was telling Timothy to do. He was basically telling Timothy, be scientific about this word. Be a scientist. Study and then divide. Divide what? Truth from falsehood. That's why I said rightly dividing the word of truth. Dividing and distinguishing also is another way of just saying you're trying to break it down. Like I say, we're going to dissect this thing. It also means that. But let me show you something else. Now we're going to go back to Atheism online, and we're going to look up the word religion. Because that's what we're dealing with. Religion. I'm going to show y'all something. AtheismOnline.com. Look at this word religion, because they'll tell you, whoa, boy, science ain't got nothing to do with religion. Oh, how wrong they are. This is religion. It's a noun. It says, circa 1200, religion. It says, state of life bound by monastic vows. So that's what the word originally meant, like in the English. You know, a state of life bound by monastic vows, meaning you're making vows to a god. You follow what I'm saying? Look what it says. Also, action or conduct indicating a belief in a divine power and reverence for and desire to please it. Listen to these definitions. It says action or conduct, I mean how you're behaving, indicating a belief in a divine power. That means you're doing something that indicates you believe in a divine power. That would be a god or a deity, right? And reverence for, that means you're reverencing it, you're respecting it, and desire to please it. If you're doing all of that, sisters and brothers, then you have a religion. Why am I pointing this out? You got people walking around right now who are Bible believers saying, I don't have a religion. Yes, you do. We got to stop with this prejudice against word stuff. Word discrimination. I don't like that word. It's probably because you don't know what it means. I have people say this all the time. I don't have a religion. Do you have a reverence for Yah or Yahweh or God? Do you? Yeah. Have you made vows to him? You know, vows ain't, that's another word for a vow. It's like a covenant, an agreement that you make a promise on. Like we have a promise agreement. That's a vow. That's a covenant. Did you make a covenant or a vow to this deity to try to do what he's saying to do? Yeah. Do you believe in his power? Do you reverence him? Yes, that's religion. Shut up. Keep it moving. I can't stand when people start trying to discriminate against words. Why are we walking around here mad at words? I'm talking about neutral words. I'm not talking about words that indicate some type of oppression or some type of, insult or degradation. I'm not talking about that. These are just neutral words with meaning. So, yes, you have a religion, like it or not. I don't care if you like the word or you don't like the word. I don't like that word, religion. But look what else it says, right? It says Old French, religion, piety, devotion, religious community, and directly from Latin, religionem, nominative, religio, and it says it means respect for what is sacred, reverence for the God, conscientiousness, sense of right, moral obligation, fear of the God, divine service, religious observance, a religion, a faith, a mode of worship. Mode means like a kind of worship. Kevin J., do we have a kind of worship?
Yeah.
Everyone who believes in God does. That's a religion. That's the definition of the word.
Right.
So anybody who says they don't have a religion, but says they worship Yah, God, Allah, or whoever, you're an idiot because you don't know what the word religion means. That's all that says to me. You don't know what it means. There will be like a woman saying she doesn't have ovaries. That's crazy. Unless they were removed or something, that means she don't know what they are. If somebody say they don't have something and they clearly do have it, that means either they're lying or they don't know the meaning of what it is. And a lot of people don't know what religion means. It's gotten a bad rap. So what they do is they say, I don't have that. Yes, you do. We all do. We believe in God. And I'm going to show you that scientists do too. They reverence these gods just like we do. That's why I try to tell people we got to get away from this ignorance. We got to get away from this arrogance. And I hate to say it's especially in the black community, because we are always the last people to cross the finish line in every race in life. And it's not our fault, because we started out at a disadvantage with this thing called slavery. But you can't use that as an excuse anymore. So if you're talking to somebody and they're just discriminating against words in general, then that is somebody you don't need to be trying to fit under to learn something from. Because that person is ignorant. So religion just simply means any kind of worshiping you do, any kind of reverence for a god or God, a deity or deities. You've made vows to that God, promises to try to obey him or them. You know, that's all that is. And that's everybody I've come across on Clubhouse that represent a church or a camp. So just keep saying you don't have a religion. I'm just going to say, well, you're an idiot that don't know what religion means. And I'm going to keep it moving. You can get mad at me, but you can't challenge me academically on the word. Now that we know that what religion means, right, is dealing with a God and reverence for him, now we're going to go to the Bible, and we're going to show you first what the religious people believe, and then we're going to show you what the scientists and atheists believe, and you're going to see there's no difference, which means we're all religious. Science and atheism are religion. I'm going to show you that. That's why we got to prove it piece by piece. So now that we know that, let's go to Genesis. We're going to take this to the beginning. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1. We're going to get real basic. And by the time we get to the end, y'all will say, man, these atheists are dumb. They some dumb people. Because if you don't believe in the God of the Bible or any God in general, y'all fall back on the scientists. I'm going to show you that the scientists are your religious leaders. They always want to be different. That's what they try to sell you. We're not like you. We're different. No, we all in the same boat. The only difference is you rocking the boat. That's the only difference. People who rock the boat want to try to make you believe they ain't in the boat with you. So you in the boat with me, only thing is I'm rowing and you rocking. Don't nobody who is sitting right in the boat like me. I don't know if any of y'all ever been in a canoe before or, you know what I'm saying, went rowing before. But, you know, in some canoes or some boats, you know, it's two people and they're both rowing and they're facing each other. I'm on one end of the boat, Kevin on the other, and we're rowing. They will be like Kevin sitting in this boat a few feet across from me, looking me in the eye. And he's rowing, and I'm rocking the boat, trying to make the boat capsize. But I'm telling him the whole time while I'm doing this, I'm not sitting in this boat with you, Kevin. What is Kevin going to say to me? Josh, you must think I'm stupid. I'm literally looking at you in this boat with me. And that, my friends, is what atheists and scientists are doing to you. They're rocking the boat, but they're claiming they're not in it with you. No, we all in the same boat. I'm going to show you that. So now we're going to go to Genesis 1 and verse 1, and then we're going to skip. We're going to get real basic. Very basic. Genesis 1, verse 1. Read that one verse.
This is 1 and 1. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth.
Okay. First verse in the Bible. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. We all believe that on this stage. And everybody, I'm assuming, in this room who believe in the Bible, they believe that too. Right? So in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Do me a favor, skip down and read verses 15 and 16. Let's deal with specific things he created. Go ahead and read.
Verse 15. And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. 14. Read 14 first.
14, okay. This is 1 and 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night. And let them be for seasons and for days and years. It says, so God said, let there be light in the firmament of the heavens. If you read verse 7, he'll tell you, or if you read verse 8, he'll tell you that after it says in verse 1, he created the heaven and the earth. When he created the firmament, he called the firmament heaven. So when you read verse 14, it says, and God said, let there be light in the firmament of heaven. All this simply means, sisters and brothers, is let there be light in the sky. Or let there be light in what science likes to call outer space. Because that's what they say the moon and the sun and the stars are outer space. Right? But watch what else it says. Keep going. 15. And let them be for light in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. So it has a purpose to give light upon the earth. We dealt with that last week. We can see the purpose. They want you to believe that purpose and sentience can come from non-purpose
and non-sentient. That's stupid. Then you step outside your worldview and you can't show me one example of that happening. So you got to fall right back in your worldview. Now, give me an example of something intelligent coming from something that doesn't have a level of intelligence. Show me that. Because everywhere else outside your worldview, that's what I see. But you want to make your worldview the exception. Notice that our worldview, when we step outside it, that still reigns true. In our worldview, it says God created everything after its own kind. We step outside of that, we see dogs breed dogs. We see cats breed cats. Elephant breeds elephants. We don't see any elephants giving birth to any tigers. But in your worldview, it starts out immediately jacked up because it's the claim that something came from nothing. Well, we don't believe something came from nothing. We believe it came from something that I would say was always here, an eternal source. Remember the brother said that last week and then tried to backpedal on it when I called him on it? But whatever that eternal source is, y'all claim it was completely stupid, inanimate, no intelligence. So it didn't have any intelligence, any purpose. It was just a random act. And all of a sudden, it gave birth and produced all of these sentient and intelligent beings, literal trillions of them, all from something that can't even think for itself. Let that sink in for a minute, y'all. This is what atheists want you to believe. They call themselves, a lot of them call themselves free thinkers, but yet they believe they came from something that can't think at all. Huh? I'm confused. So you came from something that can't think at all, just so you can become a free thinker to think about something that you said you came from that can't think at all. That's dumb. But I'm going to show you atheists that you're a religion too. You following your scientists? Well, that's pure madness. That's pure madness. That's pure madness. Right? So we got these two great lights. That's the sun and the moon. Right? Read the next part. Finish that up.
16. And God made two great lights, greater lights to rule the day and the lesser lights to rule the night. He made stars also. So
notice in our worldview, we associate the sun, the moon, and the stars, and the planets. Because, by the way, in case you didn't know this, before they called them planets, they were just called stars. They were all called stars. So that includes planets too. But notice we associate all of that with a God. Don't we? When y'all ask us, where do you think the sun, the moon, the stars, and the planets came from? We say, God. We associate that with a God. If you are a scientist that don't believe in God, and you are an atheist and you run to the scientists, because that's the only place the atheists run. They ain't got anywhere else to go. They always run to the scientists. Then you should not be associating the sun, the moon, the stars, or the planets with any deity. Because you don't believe in that madness. So let me show y'all something. Because all y'all know already that the planets we have today that we know of, they were named after Roman/Greek gods. But what many people don't know is that of the 8 planets that we have today that we know of in our so-called solar system, only 5 of them were actually named after pagan gods by the ancient Greeks and the Romans. So how did the rest of them get pagan god names in modern times? I'm going to show you how. What we're going to do now is we're going to go to history.com. Let me show y'all something. See, this is the game they playing with you. See, I can understand if you're saying something like, yo, those were the names the pagans gave these deities, and that's where they got them from. We as scientists today, we didn't name them that. And even today, after thousands of years, why do scientists still call these planets that were named, the 5 that were named by the ancients, why y'all still label them after the pagan god? You mean to tell me in 5,000 years y'all couldn't come up with another label for these planets? You're going to let them maintain their pagan deity names? Why would you do that? Why is there not a lobby against labeling these planets after something that y'all claim y'all don't believe in? But even if we let them get away with that, Kevin, like we just let that ride, okay, y'all didn't come up with that name, and just for simplification, y'all let the name stick. Even if we let you get away with that, which I'm not going to let them get away with, but even if we did, explain this. This is history.com, and this is an article. And by the way, this is the same history channel that y'all be seeing on TV. It's just their website, right? This is history.com/news/who named the planet, right? Now check this out. It says, Roman mythology is to thank for the monikers of most of the 8 planets in the solar system. Notice it said most, Kevin. It didn't say all, right?
Right.
It said the Romans bestowed the names of gods and goddesses on the 5 planets that could be seen in the night sky with the naked eye. Jupiter, the solar system's biggest planet, was named for the king of the Roman gods. It makes sense that the Romans and the Greeks would do it because, you know, they believed in gods and they thought that that's what they were looking at.
All right.
But you're an atheist and you follow scientists. You can't try to say, I don't want to get with, no, that's who you fall back on. Don't run from them when they say something you don't like. Because now you're starting to sound like the religious people with the Bible. They run when you show them something in the Bible they don't like. My point is there's hypocrisy on both sides, y'all. But look what it says. It said Jupiter, the solar system's biggest planet, was named for the king of the Roman gods, while the reddish color of the planet Mars led the Romans to name it after their god of war, right? So that's what Mars is. It says Mercury, which makes a complete trip around the sun in just 88 Earth days, is named after the fast-moving messenger of the gods. So that's who Mercury is named after, the messenger of the gods. You know, in the Greeks called him Hermes. It says, it says Saturn, the solar system's second largest planet, takes 29 Earth years to make a full revolution of the sun and is named for the god of agriculture. So you got these Roman gods. The ancient Romans named them this, not modern astronomers. But watch this, though. It says the Romans named the brightest planet Venus for their goddess of love and beauty. So the these five planets we just named, they were named by the ancient Romans. And, you know, and the Greeks had other names for them, right? Now watch what it says here. 2 other planets, Uranus and Neptune, was invented in the early 1600s. So 2 other planets were discovered after the telescope was invented. Uranus and Neptune. But wait a minute, y'all. If these 2 planets were not discovered to the 1600s when the first telescope was invented, how in the heck did they get pagan Roman names? Do y'all understand what I'm getting at? How did they get pagan Roman names? Pagan god Roman names. How did they do it? Watch what it says. Astronomer William Herschel, who is credited with discovering Uranus in 1781, wanted to call it George's star, that's what it means, for the British ruler at the time, King George III. So William Herschel wanted to name Uranus after King George III. But watch what it says. Other astronomers were interested in dubbing the planet Herschel. So other astronomers, you know, his fellow astronomers wanted to name the planet after the guy who discovered it, William Herschel. But watch what it says. It was the German astronomer Johann Bode who recommended the name Uranus, a Latinized version of the Greek god of the sky, Uranus. Wait a minute. We're in the 1800s now, right? Why in the world this late in the game? You got this German astronomer who wants to name it after a pagan god. This is a scientist. His field of study is astronomy. Why in the world would Johann Bode recommend to name it Uranus? Did he believe in the god Uranus? Does that make sense to y'all that somebody that's big on science and opposed to religion with this late in the game? See, you can't blame them for what the ancients named it. You can blame them for holding on to these Greek god names, but you can't blame them for the names that the ancient Greeks and Romans came up with. But you can blame them for still choosing to do the same thing. Y'all don't believe in this stuff. So you mean to tell me this guy discovers another whole planet? He didn't want to do it. He wanted to name it after King George III. His fellow astronomer said, no, let's name it after yourself. His German astronomer says, no, let's name it after a Greek god, Uranus. So why am I showing you this? Because they are associating the stars or the planets with a god, just like we do. When y'all ask us about the stars and their origin or any kind of association, we associate them with the God of the Bible. They're associating it with the God of the Greeks. Why, if you are a scientist atheist? Why are you doing that? Why are you trying to still throw deities on your discovery? And to this day, we all call it Uranus. It's stuck. Still Uranus. But watch it out. I'm going to let y'all see something else. Right? It says, however, the name Uranus didn't gain full acceptance until the mid-1800s. Neptune, okay, here go that other one. Now we're on planet number 7. Neptune, the planet, it makes a solar revolution once every 155 years, was first seen by telescope in 1846 by German astronomer Johann Gottfried Gale. So we got us another Johann. You follow me? Another German astronomer named Johann. That must be a popular name in German. Johann, whatever, right? It's spelled with a J here, though. But Johann is also a variation of it, right? It says by Johann Gottfried Gale, using a mathematical calculation of French astronomer Urbain Leverrier and British astronomer John Couch Adams. There was some discussion of naming the planet after Leverrier, but ultimately Neptune, which has a vivid blue color, got its name from the Roman god of the sea. So they said there was a discussion after naming it after Urbain Leverrier, but ultimately Neptune was picked. What is going on, y'all? Is everybody on stage following what I'm showing y'all? I want to make sure y'all paying attention.
Right. They don't believe in God, but yet their name is planet they don't believe in.
Right. Is everybody following that? Like Keanu, Stephanie, Charles, do y'all see what they're doing here? They don't believe in God, but notice, even when given the option to have nothing to do with deities, these scientists opt out and run to deities.
Trust in the pattern.
Trust in the patterns. Yep. Trust in the patterns, right? But check this out. They say it got, the Roman god of the sea, right? Remember, when we look at the word religion, it means giving reverence to something. Another thing you do for your God is you glorify your God. And discovering a planet was considered a glorious thing. So you discover a planet, and your colleagues say, we want to glorify this discovery by naming it after a god. But all these people, though, who's making all these decisions on what to name what, all claim they ain't got nothing to do with religion or God. See, when you start looking at this, you can't deny this. You can't keep playing these games with us, scientists and atheists. You can't keep playing these games with us. We're not stupid. When you love something, you name something that you also love, you put it on the thing you love. That's why a lot of Hebrew names have the Hebrew Yah in it, or the word El in it. A reference to who he is, Yah, and a reference to what he is, El, or God. That's what you do. when you love something. You name it after something you love. You can't tell me you are opposed and indifferent to religion, and then every time you get an opportunity, you name something you just discovered after something dealing with religion. And then tell me I don't deal with that mess. That's why I got on that dude so hard last week, who had the name Sun God in his name and saying he's an atheist. Stop playing games, dude. You want to be a god. You reverence the sun god, the Egyptian sun god. You love him. That's why you gotta reverence him some kind of way. You want us to think about that deity whenever we see you. You are an ambassador of that deity, a representative, a messenger. But this is what they do, and they know we're so stupid as a people that they can run this, they can throw this right in our face. I'm going to show y'all some crazy examples. Y'all going to say, damn. And they've been doing this literally for centuries, y'all. Literally for centuries. And these stupid, dumb, ignorant atheists, they follow behind these people, not even understanding these are your priests. When are you atheists going to challenge these scientists and be like, yo, if you're atheists like us, why do you keep glorifying gods and deities in your discovery? It's not like they got a trash can or a toilet named after a god. I can understand that because I can see they're literally taking a dump on deities, or they're saying deities belong in the trash. They're naming things that they reverence and love after this stuff. So don't try to play games with me. And I get real upset when people try to insult my intelligence. But let me show y'all something else. So we got one planet left. That is Pluto. Even though they're still divided on Pluto being a planet. But check this out. Let me see if I can pull this up right quick. It was up here earlier. It says Pluto, which was classified as a planet in 1930. Y'all remember last week I was trying to tell, I'm just going to say that ignoramus, that means somebody who's ignorant. I was trying to tell him that Pluto was once a planet. And he was like, no, it wasn't. I said, yes, it was classified as a planet, and they changed it. You remember that conversation, Kevin? Yes, sir. It said Pluto, which was classified as a planet in 1930, before being stripped of that celestial honor in 2006. Now, I remember him mentioning something about 2006.
Yeah. Right?
Was named after the Roman god of the underworld, thanks to the suggestion, listen to this one, thanks to the suggestion of an 11-year-old English schoolgirl named Belita Burney. An 11-year-old schoolgirl in 1930 said, let's name it Pluto. Right? Now look, as for Earth, the planet that's currently home to an estimated 7.3 billion people, its name comes not from Roman or Greek mythology, but rather from Old English and Germanic words meaning ground. So this Earth, notice that the Earth itself ain't named after no paganism. Just being ground. Because that's another name for Earth anyway. Like if I say dig into the ground with a shovel, you're going to dig into the ground. If I say dig into the dirt, you're going to dig into the dirt. If I say dig into the earth, you're going to do all the same thing. They all mean the same thing. But even though this little girl named Belita Burney suggested this, the scientific community still embraced it. They were like, hey, good idea. Let's name this one after a pagan god, a Roman or Greek god of mythology. Right? The god of the underworld. Remember, when we look up the word religion, it says something that reverence gods. When you name something grand or spectacular after somebody, you're doing it out of reverence. You're honoring them. Say if Kevin J saved my life. I have another son. I say, Kevin J, I'm going to name my son after you. Why am I doing that? That's in honor and reverence of him. Now, if Kevin J did something messed up to me, I might name my dog after him and then abuse the dog. I'm not saying that naming the dog after him in general makes it bad, but I start abusing the dog. Do y'all see what's going on here? When you reverence something, you honor it by naming it after something that you love. So all of these so-called scientists that's trying to tell you science ain't got nothing to do with religion, how come every time they make a discovery, they run to religion? Yes, that's religion, y'all. Y'all know the Greeks and the Romans and the Egyptians, anything that deals with worshiping a god or God, that's religion. We looked that up. So when you start saying Neptune and Saturn and Jupiter, that's all religion. It's pagan religion, but it's still religion. And this is who y'all atheists follow. But you're not a religion, though. But it's going to get deeper than that. Because they'll say, well, God, you still ain't proved nothing. I proved that y'all reverence deities. You can't even tell me as an atheist why they do that. I dare an atheist after class get on this stage and tell me out of all the names they could have came up, they could have called Mars the red planet. That's one of his nicknames anyway. The red planet. You mean to tell me you got the leading minds of the world, literal geniuses, all in one room who all saying, screw deities, screw God, it's all about science. You get hundreds of guys sitting around in the room and they discover a new planet. And you trying to tell me out of hundreds of geniuses, the best thing you can come up with is Neptune?
Another god.
Another god? Are you kidding me? Are y'all following what I'm saying? Do y'all see how they playing games with us? You could have named the planets based on the color of it, the shape of it, how long it takes to revolve around the sun, anything. But you always run back to these deities.
Saturn, like the planet of the rings or something like that?
Yes, you call it the rings planet. Yep. You can call it something that has something to do with rings or circles. It's so many things you could have came up with. Right? But they didn't name Saturn. Saturn was already named by them. They named Uranus and Neptune and Pluto. Right? Now check this out. But it gets deeper than that. Because I'm telling y'all, man, they playing games with us. They are a religion. You cannot tell me any different. We can take this thing even further. Because you know, they say all of these planets have moons. Y'all ever heard that before? Y'all ain't know, okay. Yeah, you know,
or something.
it is 100 and how many? It's 171 moons. They also call natural satellites, right?
Right. That's what Star Wars did their thing from. You know, if you watch Star Wars movies, you have to plan to have like 3 months.
Exactly.
It's always been out there. Yeah.
So in case y'all didn't know that, you know, I was real big on science. You know, I got an A in science when I was in high school. I was killing it in science. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? In fact, Big Baby will tell you, well, right when I got in the Word, and I was still like dealing with science, one of my nicknames called me the scientist. You know what I'm saying? Because I was real big on, and I still, you know, dabble in there and then. And y'all can see how when I merge it with this absolute Bible truth, boy, look out. You feel me? Because I can show you what they're doing. Now check this out. This is Britannica.com, and this is under list of moons. Because a lot of people don't know this, but every planet has moons. Earth has a moon. It has 1 moon. Check this out. We're going to go to Mars. We're in Britannica.com under list of moons. Look what it says under Mars. Mars has 2 moons. Look what their names are. Deimos and Phobos. Those are the names of Mars' moons. Now, at first glance, you're like, okay, no big deal. You know, Deimos and Phobos. But what we're going to do, we're going to click on Deimos and see where that name came from. Right? Remember, modern-day scientists are coming up with these names. Did they know ancient stuff? Forgive me because, you know, Satan got my darn internet in a headlock today. Like it's been moving extra slow. I don't even know what's going on. Come on now. Like, here we go. I don't want to unplug him instead.
Where you at, Josh?
Oh, I'm still in Britannica.com on the list of moons. And when you go under that list, It has like all the names of the moons next to the planet. Here we go. Man, here we go. Deimos. This is one of the moons of Mars. Deimos, look what it means. Deimos, the outer and smaller of Mars' two moons, it was discovered telescopically with its companion moon, Phobos, by the American astronomer Asaph Hall in 1877. So we're in 1877. We ain't back in ancient Greece or ancient Rome, are we? Right?
Right.
Look what it says. And named for one of the sons of Ares, the Greek counterpart of the Roman god Mars. So Deimos was named after Ares, the Greek counterpart of, it says, Phobos, by the American astronomer Asaph Hall in 1877, and named for one of the sons of Ares, the Greek counterpart of the Roman god Mars. So it's named after a Greek god. And that guy, Asaph Hall, who discovered it, he named it after that. You think Asaph Hall believed in Deimos? I'm wondering if he did. I'm trying to figure out, this guy discovers two moons of Mars, and out of all the names he could have came up with, he didn't pick one, but two Greek gods. Let me tell y'all what the other one is. I'm telling y'all, man, these people, this is a religion. You do know that discovering planets and moons and constellations and stars in modern times, y'all do know that it is considered as great scientific discoveries. Y'all know that, right? Do everybody understand that? Everybody understand? Do y'all understand that?
Yeah. Yeah, you got a glorious discovery. You want to name it after a glorious creature.
Exactly.
Glorious creature.
So when they lay, the reason why I'm telling y'all that, so when they name these things after gods, this is a big deal. This ain't something that you should just shrug out. Oh, it ain't no big deal. No. Remember, we associate the moon, the stars, and the sun with our God. Why is it that every time they come across a moon, a star, or a sun, or a planet, why do they keep thinking of paganism if they don't believe in any of this stuff? Why is the fact, and this is something they're doing as a community. This ain't one person doing this, they're all doing it. Because it's a freaking religion. Go ahead, Sally.
Hey, brother, let me add this point into it, because scientists generally, you probably made this point already before I came in, but scientists generally, when they make any form of discovery, it's usually named after the discoverer.
Right.
They usually place their name in there as like for medicine or medications or even diseases, anything that they find, and they say, hey, we could, even when a comet is going to hit, the meteor is going to hit the Earth,
yep,
they usually name it after the person that discovered it. But for some reason, in this case here, they're naming it after deities that they don't believe exist.
Right.
I don't know about that.
Because they know that it's a religion. Because what they're doing is they're associating creation with deities. That's religion. We associate creation with a deity. They're associating creation with deities. What do you call that? Religion. This is Phobos. It's the other moon. Phobos. The inner and larger of Mars' two moons, topically with its companion moon, Deimos, by the American astronomer Asaph Hall in 1877, and named for one of the sons of Ares, the Greek counterpart of the Roman god Mars. So this is another son of Ares. Right? Phobos. So Asaph Hall in 1877, a scientist, an astronomer, he looks up through his telescope and he sees two moons, natural satellites, next to Mars, and the best he could think of was Greek deities. That's what you do when you make a great discovery. You glorify your God. That's what we do. Whenever we do anything, we say, glory to God. Don't we say that, y'all? Praise God. Hallelujah. Praise y'all. All praises. That's called reverence. So what is he doing? These are scientists. And remember, atheists, This is who you follow. They're giving you religion. They're giving you deity. But we're going to go back. And let me tell y'all something. We ain't got time to go through all of them because y'all see how many moons it is. I'm just going to read off some names. And these are all Greek deities or Roman deities. There's Mars. Now we're with Jupiter. Look at these names right here. We got Amalthea, Callisto, Europa, Ganymede, Lo. Y'all can just tell about how these names sound. You even got to look them up. You can just hear the Greek in it. Listen to this. You got Dione, Enceladus, Hyperion, Apeptus, Mimas, Phoebe, Rhea, Tethys, Titan. That's for Saturn. Now watch this. I hate to do it to you, Ariel. Uranus. Uranus. One of his moons is called Ariel. Spelled the same way too. They sometimes use, by the way, this is another thing too. One misconception is that all scientists are atheists. That is not true. A large percentage of scientists are believers. I think it's like 40, 41%. It's dang near half. There's nothing atheists don't want you to believe. You know what I'm saying? That was the last one I checked the consensus. Look what it says. Ariel, Miranda, Oberon, Titania, Umbriel. These are the names of some angels, by the way. And then we got Neptune, we got Nereid, Triton, and Pluto. We got Charon. Now, I'm just going to click on one of these. I'm going to see who this Nereid is. I ain't never heard of Nereid. I'm wondering.
I got it right here. Yeah, I was literally just looking at that.
Because they kind of stuck out. Let's see. I don't think that's the Yep, it is. Jeez, I tried to get him fast. Nereid. Yep, Nereid, third largest known moon of Neptune and the second to be discovered. It was detected photographically by the Dutch-American astronomer Gerard P. Kuiper in 1949. It is named after the numerous daughters called Nereid of the sea god Nereus in Greek mythology. And all of them, I mean, I can't read them all because I got more stuff I want to get to. But this is the heavens. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. You know, now we're talking about the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets. Remember, planets were once called stars, so that includes them too. And when you go to science, all these stars, why are they throwing all these gods at us when they discover them? When they discover these moons, natural satellites, why are they throwing all these gods at us? Because that's what you do in your religion. You associate what you see in nature with a God. That's what we do. We go out in nature, we say, look at God's creation. We are associating nature with a God. Scientists go out into nature, they say, ooh, look at nature. They associate it with a God. Why? Somebody tell me why they don't believe in any of this stuff. Tell me why, Mr. Atheist. Tell me why they don't believe in any of this stuff. Why do they keep doing it? And why are they doing it in a glorifying way? They ain't taking a dump on this stuff. Like I said, if you named your trash can or your toilet after a god, I can understand that. But you're naming glorious discoveries after these things. Why? Because it's a religion. Stop acting stupid. If it's associated with a god, it's a religion. Stop playing games with us. And you atheists follow the scientists. That's your religion. Science and atheism are religion. How long are we going to let these people keep trying to run game on us? How long are we going to keep treating them like a spouse we caught cheating on us right in the bedroom? And the spouse tell us that ain't what happened, that wasn't me. And we believe it. You wouldn't do that in real life unless you're just playing stupid or delusional. They're throwing all this stuff at us and we just be like, well, no, it still ain't a religion. Y'all love going to that religious well whenever y'all make a discovery, though, don't y'all? Y'all love it. Why do scientists keep doing it? Stop y'all been believing this stuff. Why y'all glorifying y'all discoveries with the name of deities? Who does that? That'd be like the so-called Jews today, right? They make a great discovery in Palestine, a religious discovery. We're going to name it Hitler. What? They wouldn't do that. Hitler tried to exterminate them dudes, right? They ain't going to do anything glorifying Hitler. We make a great discovery. a miraculous thing happens in Palestine, we're going to name this thing Hitler. Who would do that? They really believe this stuff. That's why they keep referencing it. This is religion. Oh, we're going to get even more technical than that. I know a lot of y'all are already like, oh, he done proved it. You know what I'm saying? He done proved it. No. We're going to nail this thing deep. We're going to nail deep into this coffin. Because I'm tired of them playing with us. You're an atheist. You don't even understand this stuff. You didn't know any of this stuff. Don't try to act like you did. You don't even know who you're following. We keep trying to tell y'all follow the writings of men just like we do. Only different, we believe the writings we follow were inspired by God. You don't believe in that. But you're still following the writings of man. And the writings of man you're following keep directing you back to God. Every time they make a discovery, that's named after a God. That's your religion. But watch this, though. We're going to get even more technical than this. Let's move on. We got this out the way. Let's go to Leviticus 16. Let's look at these priests. Because now I'm going to prove to you that scientists are priests. How about that, y'all? That's why I taught you earlier, Kevin. That's exactly what it sounded like. Y'all keep letting these guys try to fool y'all. Y'all cannot fool me. Y'all are a religion, just like us. If you're going to be an atheist, you can't follow scientists anymore because they keep throwing gods at you. They keep naming glorious things after gods. And I don't took y'all to the heavens above. I'm going to take y'all to the earth beneath. We're going to deal with man. We're going to deal with animals. We're going to deal with insects. We're going to even deal with bacteria. You know, stuff you can't even see with the naked eye. That means scientists have glorified these gods from the biggest things you can see to the things you can't even see with the naked eye. And they keep doing it. But you're telling me this is not a religion. You feel me? A community of people who place a lot of emphasis on deities every time they discover something is not a religion? Are you really serious? I mean, seriously? Okay. If you that stupid, like I said, I got a bridge to sell you. Watch this, though. Leviticus 16, we're dealing with the high priest on the Day of Atonement. This is when Aaron and his sons, they changed from their usual attire to the attire that they did that they donned once a year on the Day of Atonement. Let me show y'all something about this. Leviticus 16, 3 and 4. Go ahead and read.
Leviticus chapter 16, verse 3. Thus said Aaron, come into the holy place with the young bullock for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering. He shall put on the holy linen coat. He shall have the linen breeches upon his flesh, and shall be girded with a linen girdle, and with the linen mirror shall he be attired. These are the holy garments. Therefore it shall be washed in flesh and water, and so put them on.
And by the way, when the Bible talks about the holy linen worn by the priest, that word means it's white. That's what linen was. Linen was a white color. Right? So on the Day of Atonement, Aaron and his sons, they wore all white. You follow what I'm saying? They wore all white. But I'm going to show you that this was something that happened later with the Levites in general, particularly the singers. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 5, 11 to 12. Let me show y'all something. I keep trying to tell you, man, Satan is slick, but Satan knows he's dealing with stupid people. That means he can do stuff right in your face, and you won't call him out on it. This stuff is a religion, man. Y'all ain't fooling nobody. Every time I turn around, y'all invoking and glorifying some God that should be completely non-existent in a community of scientists that deny that deities exist. It should be non-existent. Unless you're mocking it. And we can always tell when you're mocking something. You ain't mocking something if you make a great discovery and name a God after it. That's not mockery. That's reverence. That's the opposite of mockery. So you can't lie to me. I can tell when somebody is doing something out of respect and doing something out of mockery. And scientists are very egotistical. They're all about trying to be the next guy to make a great discovery. or to find a cure for something. So why is it when you have your scientific breakthrough, when you have your moment, you think God's? But you're not religious, though. That's what you'll tell us. Come on, y'all. Stop playing games with me. You're dealing with somebody who ain't going to drink the Kool-Aid. That's why I say you atheists. Y'all don't even know who y'all following. Y'all swear y'all different from us. Y'all are in a religious community, too. God, priest, and everything. You understand what I'm saying? Get out of here, man. Like I said, Kevin, we're leaving it with nothing. Nothing.
I would think too, Josh, like, remember that live from you was 1949? I would think that at that point, they would really be trying to steer away from anything.
Yeah. Oh, they still do it. Bro, I'm going to get you later than that. They still doing this stuff. And the names stick. Notice that they don't ever change. Ain't nobody even recounting the stuff. They ain't going that, man. Let's change this stuff back. Nope. Still called Pluto. Still called Uranus. Still called Neptune. And the other 5 planets. Y'all could have dropped those names too. Y'all didn't have to keep them just because the ancient Romans called them that. Y'all still holding on to these deities. You ain't tricking nobody. I know religion when I see it. I study religion and science. I study them both. So I know when I can how to spot either one of them in what I'm looking at. 2 Chronicles chapter 5, 11 and 12. This is when they brought the Ark of the Covenant into the temple. 2 Chronicles chapter 5 in Solomon's temple, 11 and 12. Read that.
And it came to pass that the priests will come out of the holy place. For all the priests that were present were sanctified and did not then wait by court.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also the Levites, which were the singers, all of them of Asaph and Eman and Jeduthun, with their sons and their brothers, being arrayed in white linen, having cymbals and psalteries and harps, stood at the east end of the altar, and with them 120 priests sounded with trumpets.
You said they were arrayed in what? What was it? White linen. White linen. Priests wear white. That's what they do. The priests wear white. And it symbolizes... Go ahead.
That's what I thought they were Levites when you were describing it earlier.
Exactly.
Levites to me.
Right. The priests, they wear white. Right? And it's a symbol there in the white clothing. Let me show you what wearing white represents. We're going to go to Revelation. Revelation 19, 6 to 8. It's about the same.
You know it's crazy. Catholic priests wear black all the time. That's backwards.
Well, there's a reason for that too. Don't worry about it. But the Pope wears white. Don't get it twisted. The Pope wears white. Actually, Catholic priests wear black and white. They also wear purple. They also wear red. Like, there are different positions in the Catholic priesthood. So they ain't just restricted to one particular color anyway.
That is a color we see most of the time, movies, displays, most of the church. I'm only seeing the black, white. So, yeah, I see white.
But y'all know the Pope always wear white. Y'all notice that.
That is correct, yeah.
Right? This is Revelation, chapter 19, 6 to 8. Read that.
Revelation 19, verse 6. And I heard as it were the voice of great multitude, and a voice of many waters, and as the voice of mighty thunder, saying, Hallelujah, for the Lord God omnipotent reigneth. And
this is John on the Isle of Patmos. He's having these visions, and this is what's being said to him in his vision. Continue.
Verse 7. Thus be glad and rejoice, and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife has made herself ready. And this is symbolism. The Lamb represents Jesus. His wife represents believers in Jesus, or Yahweh, or Yeshua, whatever name you want to use, right? That's who his wife is. That's who we hope to be in that group of people. Those are the saints. But notice what it says. It says, let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. Verse 8, read. and to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of the saints.
And that's what wearing white represents. It represents that for the priest too. That's why in the scriptures when you see angels, when they're revealing themselves, they're wearing white. When Jesus was on what they call the Mount of Transfiguration, it says his garments became white. When you read about him in Daniel, the Ancient of Days, it says he was wearing white. It represents righteousness, purity. It represents goodness, right? So we know why our priests wear white. So now I'm asking you, Mr. Atheist, why do your scientists wear white? I'm going to show you. And this is coming from their own stuff. This ain't me guessing at it. So we know why priests wear white, and people today in religions, they still wear white. Most people, when they get baptized, they put on a white robe. A lot of Muslims, you notice, they wear white. It represents purity. Right? Now check this out. What we're going to do is we're going to go and do something real simple that a lot of people don't do. I Googled the question earlier. I already knew this, by the way, when I did this. But I wanted to do it anyway for this class. This is in merchfoundry.com, Merch Foundry. And it's under the name of this article, Why Are Lab Coats White? The History You Never Knew About. Sound like a secret to me. If you didn't know about it, that means it's a secret. Right? It says, why are lab coats white? Again, this is Merch Foundry, like the word found, but with RY on the end of it. Merchfoundry.com. Why are lab coats white? The history you never knew about. Look what it says. Few pieces of clothing carry as much symbolism as the white lab coat. They ain't wasting no time telling you that it symbolizes something, Kevin. You see what I'm saying? They ain't wasting no time. Look what it says. And it may surprise you to know that lab coats were originally beige, and that doctors weren't the first ones to don them, right? It says, in fact, while many still think of the white coat as the quintessential garb of the medical profession, very few doctors still wear lab coats today. Those are the doctors, but the scientists still do. Then it says, why are lab coats white? Look what it says. They got practical reasons for it, but this is the first thing it says. It says, white, and this is it. Why are lab coats white? Look what it says. White is the color of hope, purity, and transformation. Hold up. So, scientists wear lab coats because it's a symbol of hope, purity, and transformation? Purity is another name for like being righteous, like he's pure, he's clean. That's why I said the linen that they were wearing, it said clean. Remember it said that the linen they were wearing was clean and white?
Right.
It says white is the color of hope, purity, and transformation. It says this was apt for the 19th century when science was taking off as a profession and lab coats were first used. So in the 19th century, when lab coats were taken off, when scientists were like really getting a name for themselves, they said, yo, we can start rocking white. Because we want people to look at these white lab coats, like we want them to think hope, purity, and transformation. And it's funny, it said transformation because in the Bible, every time they talk about somebody like becoming a saint, it says white robes were given to them. So you're transforming out of whatever you had on first, and you're transforming into that white robe. Do everybody see what they're doing? Everybody on stage, are y'all following me? Do y'all see what they're doing with these lab coats?
I had no idea.
This is where they get it from, right? But let me show you this. We're going to go to another one. There's even more detail. Y'all be reading these scientific journals and articles online all the time. And they tell you. But see, these atheists don't know this. So where do y'all think they got the ideal or the knowledge that, hey, wearing white represents purity? It said they didn't come up with it until the 1900s. So before then, who put the idea in their head that wearing white represents purity? Christianity, y'all, the Bible. Christians had already been rocking white for centuries as symbolism, as a symbol of being righteous. Science took one look at that and said, yo, we've been starting rocking these white lab coats. That's where they got it from. Remember, it said they weren't doing it before then. And if you would have kept reading, and it might say in this article too, they used to wear black. The scientists are, and doctors. The doctors used to wear black, and the scientists used to wear beige. Check this out. This is theglobeandmail.com. Theglobeandmail.com. One word, the Globe and Mail, like you mailing something, .com. And this is under, why do physicians wear white lab coats? Look what it says. And you scroll this down, it says, boxy, plain, and unisex. They are hardly sartorial statements, but they are functional. The big pockets can hold a stethoscope, a microscope, paper, pen, and so on. The lab coat also protects clothes from a common on-the-job hazard, flying bodily fluid. It's simple to change if soiled and easy enough to launder. Beyond the practical, what doctors wear is loaded with symbolism. You know how these articles are telling you that these white lab coats got some symbolism to it? It ain't just something they just decided. It said it got symbolism. Just like wearing white symbolized the righteousness of the saints. Right? Check this out. It says, clothing influences how we are perceived and how we perceive ourselves. The white lab coat screams out official, brainy, and in charge. They said that's what the white lab coat screams. Official, brainy, you know what I mean, intelligent, in charge. Hold up. Official, brainy, in charge. Official. When you were a priest, you had to officiate in that office. You was official. Brainy means intelligent. The priests were considered the intelligent and wise men. And in charge, the priests were the leaders. They led the people religiously, under the king, but religiously they led. Oh, but it's going to get even more deep than that. In the healthcare setting, an outdated symbol of hierarchy, it is so 20th century. It's about for the doctors, because, the scientists still wear those white lab coats, right? There's a little history is in order. The white lab coat first made its appearance in the late 1800s. Prior to that, lab coats were traditionally beige and worn in, laboratories. Doctors, like clergy, dressed in black to reflect the somber nature of their work. You see that? Doctors used to wear black, like the clergy. You know what I'm saying, Ariel? To reflect the somber nature of their work. That means like the sad nature, of their work. In other words, doctors used to dress like they were going to a funeral. Right? It says, the end of the 19th century was a time of tremendous progress in public health and medicine when the benefits of sanitation and clean water were recognized. In the hospital setting, antiseptics revolutionized care. Prior to the germ-fighting era, physicians were largely indistinguishable from the quacks such as homeopaths and snake oil salesmen. A medical school degree could be obtained in a year, and there were few standards of good practice. So the standards back then were pretty bad, and it was really hard to distinguish a real doctor from like the snake oil salesman, like the quacks. That's a fake doctor who don't know anything, right? It says, with the advent of germ theory, physicians strove to be more scientific in their practice and their dress. Medical schools also adopted a more rigorous and standardized curriculum. The white coat embodied this new philosophy. But again, why white? And where do they get the ideology that white symbolized anything? They got that from religion, because religion was already wearing white to symbolize all of this stuff. So they're even dressing like our priests, these scientists. So let me keep it moving. It says, white is the color of hope, and the lab coat the symbol of the healer. If you know anything about your Bible, the priests were healing people. Just read about the law concerning leprosy. Read about Jesus. He's a high priest, and he was healing people, and he wore white. You tell you that in Revelation. Do y'all see what they're doing? All this stuff straight out the Bible. Look what else it says. Surgeons became the first to wear the white coat, followed by hospital doctors and then in-office general practitioners. By 1915, it had become the norm, those doctors doing home visits to transform. To this day, listen to this. Most medical schools have a white coat ceremony. A white coat ceremony? What happens at this ceremony? Where new students are solemnly presented with a short white coat at the beginning of their studies. Oh, it's a big old ceremony where people are given white coats? That sound familiar to any of y'all on this stage? Let's see. Let's go to Revelation. Let's go to Revelation 6. I keep telling y'all, man. Am I making this up? Is it all lining up to y'all yet? Is it like, do y'all see it?
Yeah, you can't make it.
I can't make this stuff up. They're trying to become the priest. It's Revelation 6, right? 9 to 11. We already know that the white linen or clothing symbolizes the righteousness of the saints, the purity or whatever. Go ahead and read that. Revelation 6, 9 to 11. I'm not making this stuff up. Y'all saying it with me. Go ahead and read.
Revelation 6, in chapter 9.
No, Revelation 6, verses 9 to 11. Read that, please.
Okay. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the soul of them. They were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And this is the vision that John is seeing in heaven. He saw the souls or the departed spirits of them that died for the testimony, for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. So these are martyrs, people who died for their faith. Go ahead and read. Verse 10, and they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?
Mm-hmm. Let's see what they were given after they made this lament. Go ahead and read.
11. And white robes were given unto every one of them.
Hold on. What was given to every one of them?
White robes.
What was given to them? And it was given to them on account of them dying for the faith. Right? White robes were given to them. Stop. That's all you need to read. Let me go back to something we've been looking at. Because, see, y'all try to act like y'all don't see this stuff. We got to stop playing. Look what it says. To this day, we're back to theglobeandmail.com. To this day, most medical schools have a white coat ceremony where new students are solemnly presented, that means given, with a short white coat at the beginning of their study. When they graduate, whoa. When they graduate, they get a long white lab coat. What does it sound like to you? If it's a long white coat, they go all the way down your ankles. What does it sound like to you? What kind of clothing, what do we call that clothing that go that low? That's a robe.
Oh.
Now when you go to the hospital, look around. You're going to see some doctors wearing that coat that stop like about mid-thigh, and you're going to see some wearing something go all the way down their ankle. It says they get a long white lab coat. If you're in a hospital, coat length is a handy way to identify the students. So the students wear the short white coat, and the graduates wear the long white coat. But this is in the hospital. It says, but the white coat tradition is dying. Remember, this just come out among not the scientists. The scientists still rock, right? I want y'all to see that, right? Y'all need to understand that this stuff is here for you to see that they are taking this stuff from religion. That's what y'all got to understand. This is a religion. So they even rocking the white, like the priest. And they even tell you what it represents. But if you go to yet another site, I went to another site, and it tells you that they wear white also because it symbolizes something called scientific rigor. That's what they say it symbolizes. So I looked up scientific rigor because I never heard that term before. Because I went to multiple sites, and a lot of them said it symbolizes scientific rigor. Let's see what scientific rigor means. This is from a site. Let me get this order. Let me get this site for y'all. Know my internet moving slow today. They didn't want this to come up. This is ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. I know that's a lot, but I want y'all to see this. Come on now, stop all the games. Here we go. It says, this is on the Natural Library of Medicine. Let me see if this popped up to the right thing, too. I guess I had the definition here, okay. Here we go. It says, the NIH defines scientific rigor as, now listen to this, the strict application of the scientific method to ensure robust and unbiased experimental design, methodology, analysis, interpretation, and reporting of results. Notice it says unbiased. When you say something's unbiased, that means you're not going to lie about it because you favor this or favor that. So scientific rigor is the strict application of the scientific method to ensure robust and unbiased experimental design. In other words, sisters and brothers, scientific rigor means that when you do your research, you're only going to report the facts or the truth. So the white robes also represents the science or scientific rigor, and that means that you're only going to report the truth. In other words, we can be trusted, y'all. We're unbiased. We're just going to give you the truth. Sounds like a priest, don't it?
It does.
That's where they took the white from, y'all. So now they're rocking the white. But we also know another thing that priests did. Priests sacrificed animals. In fact, that's one of the things atheists love to make fun of about us. Y'all sacrifice animals. Why y'all guys sacrifice animals? Okay, let's go through another article. Let's go through another article. This article is titled, this is on slate.com, /human interest. Slate.com/human interest. Look at the title of this. Why do secular scientists keep talking about animal sacrifice? That's the title of the article, y'all. And look at what this person who wrote this article is saying, because they want to know. The person that wrote this article is by Megan Cartwright. She wants to know, why do they keep referring to it as sacrifice instead of a more scientific name? Look what it says. Again, the article is titled, Why do secular scientists keep talking about animal sacrifice? Look what she says. If I were to guess the modern profession that earnestly uses the religious word sacrifice, I never would have said scientific research. You hear her? She said if I had to guess a modern profession that would use the religious word sacrifice, I never would have said scientific research. No, I expect that word to be associated with scientific research. See, even other people are peeping what they're doing. But look what else she said. According to a 2009 Pew survey, 41% of American scientists identify as atheists. 41%? Oh, I had it backwards earlier, y'all. It says 41. That was in 2000. So, it might have went up or went down by then. But in 2009, it said 41% of American scientists identify as atheists. That's less than half. That means the other half identifies as theists. That's another thing atheists don't want you to know. They don't want you to know the large percentage of scientists that actually believes in God. They want to make you think that most scientists, if not all of them, are atheists. But I'm not interested in the percentage anyway, because it says from 2009, and it's 2022. But look, this is what I'm getting at, though, right? It says 10 times the proportion of atheists in the general public. Given this secularism, I would have expected scientists to use euthanize, put to sleep, or even terminate to refer to killing animals for research. But no, the modern American scientists talk and write about sacrificing rats, mice, fruit flies, and even plant seeds. So that's how this sacrifice is science.
Right.
She's dumbfounded by this. She's like, I would expect them to use terms like euthanize, put to sleep, or even terminate. Why are they using a religious word to describe what they're doing to these animals? Y'all know why. Because it's a religion. People are peeping this, y'all. I'm not making this stuff up. I didn't write these articles. But I knew this stuff. I'm just showing it to y'all for the first time. Look at this. It says, like many scientific discoveries, the English word sacrifice came from France. According to linguist Anne Curzon at the University of Michigan, the word was borrowed from French in the Middle English period between the 11th and 15th century. During that time, it had just one meaning. Let me read that again. During that time, it had just one meaning, which Curzon described as an offering, usually an animal, to God or a deity. Do y'all see that? Or is y'all silent like because y'all are stunned? Or y'all paying attention? I just want to make sure everybody on stage getting this.
No, we get it.
You follow what I'm saying? Do y'all see this? See, atheists, y'all follow these people though. So you can get on this stage and say whatever you want, but you don't know this stuff that I'm bringing out. You don't know what you're following. But let me show you this, because this letting you know that even other people are observing what they're doing and the words they're using, right? So now they're dressing, they're wearing white, and they're referring to what they're doing to these animals as sacrifice, not euthanization, not putting them to sleep. Come on, y'all. I can't make this stuff up. And they're throwing deities on everything they discover. But that's not a religion. And if you follow the science as an atheist, that's what you're in. You can't try to separate yourself from them now. You can't be like, that ain't me. That's what you always fall back on. This is religion. You can't go to the church and be like, I'm not a part of the church. You want them people in church, they go, but they never really join. They go to the same church for years, but they never really join. That's how these atheists are. They want to follow the scientists, but you don't want to commit to everything they're doing. This is what you're in. This is who you follow. I'm not making this stuff up. You can see this for yourself. Look what else it says. It says, but an offering implies that you're depriving yourself of things you'd rather keep. And over time, the implication subsumed sacrifice's original meaning. So over time, you know, the original meaning of sacrifice altered. It says by the Renaissance, sacrifice meant surrendering something valuable for the sake of a greater, more pressing claim, which is how in 1597 Shakespeare could have Lord Capulet lament that Romeo and Juliet were poor sacrifices to our enemy. It says, like science, sacrifice has kept changing since Shakespeare's time. The major meaning nowadays, says linguist John McWhorter at Columbia University, is to give something up. But he points out that a word can retain its old meaning into a new one. Given the still drifting meaning, it is possible to see how scientists perceive research animals as sacrifices to the greater good of or presenting needs for scientific discovery, Curzon said. Right? So if you look at this stuff, it's letting you see that they are still using a religious term in science when there are other terms available. Just like they could use other labels for the name of these planets. Why are they still using a religious term? Why are they saying we're sacrificing and they're talking for the greater good? You can still say euthanize. You can say we're putting them to sleep. Sacrifice with animals. Animal sacrifice. That's what a priest does. And why are they doing this? For the greater good. They say for the greater good. But they sacrifice these animals because they're doing experiments on them. And they're testing on them. Why are they doing that? So they won't have to do it on us. So they're sacrificing animals for the sake of the benefit of humans. Why did priests sacrifice animals for the sake of the benefit of humans? That's why they call it a sin offering. You sinned, yet an animal has to die. Something's wrong with you, yet an animal has to die. Scientists, something's wrong with you, so an animal has to die for you to get better. You got polio. We got to test the cure on something. Or whatever, viruses and bacteria they found vaccines for. They test it on animals first. They don't test it on humans first. They test it on animals first. So an animal has to die to benefit you. That's religion. An animal has to die to benefit us. And you're wearing the white lab coat, which you ripped off from religion. You even say it symbolizes the same thing. You even got ceremony when you're presenting white lab coats to people. And you trying to tell me you don't see the religion in that? You're naming everything after a deity. But it's even deeper than that. Let's move on. Because, see, they playing games, y'all. They trying to act like we don't see this stuff. Like I can't see religion in this. Y'all even got priests and everything, wearing white and everything. It represents purity. It represents that we are unbiased. We just do the research and present the facts. We're telling you the truth. They know what they're doing. Read all these articles. They tell you it's symbolism. But who first put in their head that wearing white represents purity and hope and healing and transformation? Who put that in their head? Scientists wasn't doing it back then. We read that. So who was wearing white as those symbols back then before them? Religion was. Those are your priests. They sacrifice the animals and everything, even wearing white. But let me show y'all something. It gets even deeper than that, right? Let's go to Genesis chapter 1, 26 and 27.
Hey, Josh, really quick, too, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
When you see the word tradition, what is the word tradition is usually associated with?
Tradition, or it could be customs or religion.
But for exactly, I heard an atheist in the side chat say that they talk about looking really about native Romans. I'm like, yeah, you're still following it. Hey, right.
Man, if you don't go through over that weak argument, science is all about breaking tradition. That's how I know you don't know anything about science. Every time a new discovery is made, you're supposed to ditch the inferior, obsolete information or way of doing things.
To get away from doing that. That's right. That's what I was kind of thinking in my head. At least when I use the year 1949, I would think at this point, there's a lot of scientists trying to do things to be atheists. I just think that that's norm from their thought process. Now, they're trying to distance themselves away from the overall any kind of really. They would associate themselves with some type of thought.
Right. Get out of here with all that nonsense. Science is all about, that's why they call it breakthrough. Y'all know why they call it the word, that means you're breaking something that was the accepted standard or belief. That's why it's called a scientific breakthrough. Once you break through something that was accepted as the standard belief or thought, you don't put that back together and then continue. No, you go through whatever broke it. I would assassinate dudes with words alone. It ain't got nothing to do with no tradition. You still have a choice. And you're choosing to promote a deity. Don't hand me that mess, Mr. And the same person who said it, though, who was there in the chat room, if he was a Christian before he became an atheist, if he wore a cross, did you still rock your cross? You still got that picture of Jesus hanging up in your house? Ain't about your mama's house. You don't move out. You got your own spot. So why is it you make excuses for them and want to call it tradition, but you threw away all that stuff when you became scientific? That's what I'm saying. Don't play these games with me. You can't make excuses for them when you didn't do the same thing. Do you even still go to church as an atheist? Probably not. When you became an atheist, you abandoned all things God. That's what you did. So why is it that these people who you look to haven't done the same thing? They haven't abandoned all things God. You have, but they haven't. And these are your mentors. These are people you look to for answers. How you going to look up to somebody that's contradicting the very principle of what you believe? Like I said, you can't have it both ways. They're mad because I'm showing them all the religious implications in science. They don't like that. It's undeniable. They can get on this stage. Why they buck names and come up with all kinds of excuses? They can't bag nothing up. They ain't got nothing to do. Notice I'm showing y'all everything. I bring receipts. I got receipts like it's tax season. They have nothing. They ain't got any receipts. Get on this and tell me why they keep naming stuff after deities that they claim they don't believe in. And in a positive way. Why they reverencing deities? Why are you holding on to the tradition of something you say you don't believe in anymore? It's been thousands of years. Why are you still doing that? How long does it take to let go of God? Well, a lot of y'all became atheists when you finally did it. I don't see nobody who claims to be an atheist coming on here with a picture of them wearing a cross around their neck or a picture of a Bible or saying, praise Jesus. I don't see none of that mess. But your mentors are doing it. Why they keep throwing deities at you, man? If you're an atheist, why you keep talking about deities, man, in a positive way? You ain't dumping on them. If you were dumping on them, I can see that. If you were mocking them, I can see that. But why you keep glorifying them, man? You made a great discovery. You just discovered 2 natural satellites next to Mars, two moons. And you want to name them after 2 Greek gods. Why? We don't believe in gods. Why are we doing this? Why are we glorifying them? Miss me with that. I'm not stupid. Y'all are stupid if y'all can't see what these people are doing. And I don't deal with no stupid people. I deal with people who can face reality, regardless of how harsh it may be. Reality don't change for anybody. It don't bend for anybody. So you have to take it for what it is. Y'all can't deal with reality. You need to go get some counseling. Go talk to a shrink or something. We deal with reality up in here, and the reality is they keep throwing gods at me. And you want me to ignore all of that and say, no, they're just doing it because it's tradition. This ain't no tradition. And even if you want to call that Kevin, let's give them that. Okay, Kevin, let's give them that. We're going to be real generous today, Kevin. Let's say they're doing it out of tradition. Who did the tradition start with? Religion. So why are y'all holding on to a religious tradition if they're not religious? You feel me? It's not like an atheist who celebrates Christmas. I can see how an atheist celebrates Christmas and don't buy into it, getting together with the family. We don't celebrate Christmas either, by the way. But I can understand how an atheist could celebrate Christmas, getting together with the family, exchanging gifts. You don't got to be religious to do all of that. You're just kicking it with your family.
Right.
But what happens when your family says, let's go to church, and we want you to be in the choir, and we want you to start singing praises to Jesus? You ain't going to go that far with it as an atheist. You're like, whoa, no, I ain't doing all that. Because you don't believe in it. But look how far they're going with it. They make grand discoveries. Let's name it after a god. That's a big deal. Me naming a great discovery after a God would be the equivalent of an atheist today becoming a choir director at a church. That's a big deal. You feel me? You will never see nothing like that. You will never see a confessed atheist becoming a confessed atheist being the choir director. Because he's the one leading praises to God. Who's going to do that? So let me show y'all something else. We're in Genesis 1. Like the stuff these people come up with. They like that dude who got caught cheating on his wife. Walk in, catch the dude right in the bed, up and down on the girl he cheating with. Wife come right in there. Baby, it ain't what you think. It ain't what you think, baby. It ain't that. That's the atheists when they show us all this stuff. And I'm showing y'all all this stuff. It ain't what you think, y'all. Even though they promoting all these deities, even though, you know what I mean, they ripped off wearing white from priests, even though they call what they doing in their labs sacrificing animals or animal sacrifice, even though they describe scientific rigor as somebody you can trust to be unbiased and only tell you the truth, even though they doing all this stuff that is priest-like, even though every time they make a great discovery, they lay a deity on it, baby, even though you see all that, it ain't a religion. Baby, even though you caught me on this woman butt naked, it ain't what you think. We wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't cheating on you. That's how atheists talk to us, y'all. And some of y'all sisters have caught y'all men in that position. And if he was stupid enough to try to say it wasn't what you thought, I can only imagine what you did to him. So I can only imagine how you feel, knowing how I feel when I'm reading all this stuff and a stupid atheist jumps on the stage and tries to tell me it's not a religion. I feel like that dude that caught his girl cheating on him in the bed, walked right in on him, and she telling me she wasn't cheating. That's very insulting, ain't it, Kevin?
That's extremely.
That's very insulting. So I don't care if you try to say it ain't a religion. You cannot get around this stuff. Stop making up excuses. Genesis 1, 26 and 27. Let's see who we associate man's creation with. Read that, please.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that could be upon the earth.
So, who do we associate our creation with, Kevin?
God.
Stage, anybody come off their mic? Who do we as believers associate our creation with? Who do we do? I want to make sure everybody paying attention. God, right? The Most High, Yah, Yahweh, Yahweh. Don't care what name you use.
Yeah.
Yah.
Yeah.
We do, right? So, if God created me, Brother Josh, does that mean he created my head? You know, my head on my shoulder. Did he create that?
I hope so.
Did he create my feet?
I hope so.
Did he create my eyes?
He did.
Did he create my brain?
Yep.
So everything that's me, my entire makeup. If you ask me, who created your eyes, Josh? God. Who created your mind, Josh? God. Right? So if you are a scientist and you don't believe in any deities, then no part of the human body should be associated with a deity. Am I right?
Correct.
But yet again, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Atheism online. I'll tell you, man, these people think we are stupid. They really think we're stupid, y'all. And what we're going to do is we're going to look up the word iris. Y'all ever heard that word before?
Iris.
Anybody wear glasses on the stage?
Yep, the eyeball.
There you go. There you go, iris. So you heard that word before. This is atheismonline.com under iris. It's a noun. Look what it says. Late 14th century, as the name of a flowering plant, Iris germanica. Early 15th century, in reference to the eye membrane. Yep, somebody said eyeball. Okay. It says, from Latin, iris, plural, oride. Iris of the eye, iris plant, rainbow. From Greek iris, genitive, Arido, a rainbow, also iris plant and iris of the eye. It says a word of uncertain origin, traditionally derived from pi root, way to bend, turn, twist. You know, the bend of the rainbow. Look what it says next. Iris was the name of the minister and messenger of the Olympian god, especially of Hera, visibly represented by the rainbow, which was regarded as the descent of a celestial messenger, like they traveled down on the rainbow from like the heavens, right? From the oldest part of the Iliad, the word is used of both the messenger and the rainbow. So it says Iris was the name of the minister and messenger of the Olympian god. So it was like an angel that brought messages, like a god that brought messages. That's who Iris was. Why did scientists look at my eyeball and think Iris? Why? What do that got to do with anything? Because of like the reflective properties and the bend of the eye, the curvature. But notice, we think about when I think about my eyes and who created them, I think about God. I think about Yahweh. Scientists say they don't believe in any deities, but they examine our eye and they decide to label a part of it, Iris, after a Greek messenger god. But this ain't religion though, y'all. Now we're dealing with the human body itself. We don't deal with the heavens. We don't deal with the scientists themselves. Now we're dealing with us. They look at you and they see God, deities. Why do they keep associating everything? There's no branch of science that you can go to where they don't throw a deity in there. No branch of science. I challenge you. Astronomy, chemistry, biology, you name it. Anatomy, you name it. They gonna throw a deity in there. Why are they so obsessed with deities? This ain't tradition, y'all. This is religion. So now my eye pagan. They'll make my eye pagan God. Right? They'll make my eye religious. So let me show you something else. Because I'm tired of these people trying to act like we don't see this stuff. Now, I know a lot of y'all should know this. Now we're going to look up a body part. We're still in a Tim online. This is the Achilles tendon. I know y'all heard about that before. Right? I know Ariel should know about this. After what happened to you, right, Ariel? Amen. Huh? Check this out. Achilles tendon. From modern Latin, tendo Achilles, first used by German surgeon Lorenz Heister. Boy, I tell you, boy, them Germans love them some Greek mythology, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
And look what it says, 1638 to 1758, right? And so called in reference to the one vulnerable spot of the Greek hero Achilles, whose mother held him by the heel when she dipped him in the river of Styx to render him invulnerable. So this is based on Greek mythology. Based on something that none of y'all consider to be real today. Atheists, y'all don't believe that some guy got dipped all the way up to his heel in a magic river that made him invulnerable except in his heel. That's where you get the term Achilles heel. That means your weakness. And they scientists read this story and decided, let's name this part of the heel Achilles tendon. You just could name it the heel or the tendon. Why you got to throw a Greek mythological hero in there? And if you are making a reference to Achilles, that's a reference to Greek mythology in general, meaning the gods. So that's a reference to deity. Why do they keep making reference to deities in your body? Why do they keep doing it? Y'all know the answer because it's a religion. Anything that involves a God, glorifying a God. Right? That's religion. Well, we're not worshiping it. You're still glorifying it. And I believe y'all are worshiping it. I ain't ever seen nobody glorify God this much but don't worship him. I ain't buying that. Are you buying that, Kevin? You want glory to these gods but you don't worship them?
Not at all. No.
I'm not buying that. You ain't going to get that much attention, reference, and glory to something that you ain't got a high level of respect for. Y'all keep doing it because it's a religion. Just like every time we come across something as Bible believers, we give glory to God. When I think about the wonder of how my eyes are able to see, I think about the God of creation. When y'all think about the glory of how your eyes can see, you think about the Greek messenger god Iris. That's still both of us thinking about a God when we think about the wonders of the human eye. What is the difference? You are not different from me. We are in the same boat. You're just rocking the boat. You think rocking the boat means you ain't in the boat. No, you in the same boat with me. I've come to terms with what I believe. Why can't you? Because in the end, you atheists know you cannot escape religion. You cannot escape the Creator. That's why the Bible, as I showed y'all last week, if y'all notice, the Bible never defines atheism as it is defined today. Because the Bible tells you that atheists do know there's a God. They just don't believe he's going to do anything. But if you notice, the Bible also shows you that when people deny God in the Bible and in the ancient world, they never denied deities in general. You remember my point last week, Kevin? Nobody ever denied the existence of a deity in general. They just abandoned worshiping the God of creation. What do atheists do? They say they deny all deities. Then how come the field of study involving people who you follow, they're throwing these deities right back to you? You're doing the same thing the ancients did. You're just going from the Bible God to pagan gods, to idols. That's all you're doing. You don't even know why it's called the Achilles tendon. You don't even know why it's called the iris. Who that called my name? Okay.
Let's not forget about your cervical vertebrae number 1, known as your atlas, named after the Greek god. Picture holding up the world.
That's right. And where is he holding the world at? On his what? Huh? No, it's not. Look at it again. It's like behind his neck. And where's that vertebrae located at that you just named? Where's it located?
Your cervical vertebrae number 1.
Exactly. Right there, like right behind that neck and right behind where that vertebrae begins. You don't know the exact point, but you know what I'm saying. Notice it's right there. Right? Why? Because that's a reference to Atlas. Do y'all see this? What, Keanu, what does that have to do with science if I don't believe in that? Why do I have Atlas anywhere? Why do they keep making references to deities and mythological figures that are associated with deities? Why do they keep doing that, Keanu?
Because they have a religion.
Because they have a religion. If y'all do your own research, y'all will find more and more examples of this. It's more than you can count. If I gave y'all every example I came across, because I cut a lot of stuff out, if I gave y'all every example, we would literally be here until next Sabbath. I'm not exaggerating. It's really that many. And if it's that many, you trying to tell me it's not a religion?
Have an infatuation with gods and deities, pretty much.
They got a sick infatuation with it. They want to make your body parts. You got your atlas vertebrae. You got your iris. Let's see what else we got while we at it, right? Let's look up something that they should be familiar with. Anybody ever heard of the part of the brain called the hippocampus? Anybody ever heard of that?
Yes, sir.
Did y'all know it was associated with something pagan? A god? Did y'all know that?
I did not.
Let's take a look.
I'm surprised at this point.
I keep telling y'all, man. And keep in mind that they are the ones coming up with this. They coming up with this. The scientific community that y'all say is completely divorced from religion. If it pertains to a God, it is religion. If it's glorifying that God, it is religion. The most powerful thing about the human body is the mind. Do everybody agree with that? That's the most powerful thing. The mind. Everything is in the mind. Once the mind goes, you done. That's why you can be you can have all your bodily functions working, but if you brain dead, you're a vegetable. You have a nice steady heartbeat, you know what I'm saying? But if you brain dead, that's a wrap. This is what hippocampus is. I'm gonna let y'all see something. Hippocampus, it says, circle 1600. Those we in ancient times, we in modern times, relatively speaking. 1600. A kind of sea monster, part horse and part dolphin or fish, often pictured pulling Neptune's chariot. Okay? From late Latin, hippocampus, from Greek, hippocampos. We ain't gonna go all the way down to it because we already got the pagan god. Let's see what else is. Used from 1570 as a name of a type of fish, the seahorse, of a part of the brain from 1706 and supposed resemblance to the fish. So, one part of our brain is called the hippocampus because it looks like the seahorse, which gets its name from the pagan creature, from the mythological creature called the hippocampus that pulled Neptune's chariot. So it's a reference to Neptune. So Neptune's pulling my brain, or I'm pulling Neptune. My brain is pulling Neptune. This is your brain, y'all. Somebody in the 1600 1570 who was dissecting a human brain thought about hippocampus.
Hey, Josh.
Hmm?
I got to read what Robert Alfano just said. Says when doctors graduate, they say the Hippocratic Oath, which where it leads to I cannot pronounce that word, brother. I cannot pronounce ASPLEIS. And that is true. I've heard that. I can't pronounce that word.
Yes, the Hippocratic Oath, right? So is he saying? Wait a minute. Is he saying there's a connection there? Let's see. It sounds similar. Let's see if there's a connection there.
I definitely have heard Hippocratic Oath before. I cannot say that.
Is that how do you spell? I might be spelling it wrong. How do you spell this?
HIPPO.
Okay, yeah, HIPPO.
ERATIC.
Here we go. Let's see where it comes from. It says, Hippocratic, from medieval Latin Hippocratius, pertaining Hippocrates, the famous ancient Greek physician and father of medicine. That's where it comes from. Hippocratic Oath is a text from 1747 in the spirit of Hippocrates, but was not written by him. So it comes from Hippocrates, from a guy named Hippocrates. Right? But it says, hold on, wait a minute. It says, the name literally,
the God of healing.
Yeah, what? Who? What you say?
The son of Apollo.
Is that related to the name Hippocratic? Hippocratic?
Patterned after a God of healing.
Okay. So it's patterned after God of healing, which means that's probably how the guy in ancient Greek got his name, because just like the Hebrews did, the ancient other nations had God's names in their names too. You follow what I'm saying? So it was named after the guy whose name came from a pagan god. You follow what I'm saying? In other words, close, but not quite. But close.
Yes, Olympius is a hero and a god of healing.
Exactly. And And that's the root of his name. But the Hippocratic Oath itself comes from the name of a guy in ancient Greece who was considered the father of medicine. But it's not hard to see where he got his name from. You follow what I'm saying?
Right. I know I've heard of that before.
Right. Right. Now check this out now. So we don't sing hippocampus. Let me show y'all another thing that we got to come across. Because they ain't the only time they attribute a part of our brain to God or deity. Right? This is nba.uth.tmc.edu. Let me get that again. nba.uth.tmc.edu. Now we know about the hippocampus. They took us to a sea monster, you know what I'm saying, that pulled Neptune's chariot. So that's reference to Greek mythology, their gods, that's religion. Right? Now let's see what it says here. And this is on this site, this is under neuroscience. UT Health. That's what it is, under neuroscience, UT Health. Right? And this is under hippocampus. Look what it says right here. It says, the hippocampus is also called the cornu amonis. Cornu amonis. Amon was an Egyptian god. I mean, come on, man. I mean, y'all, seriously, y'all, do I really need to keep going? Do y'all see? This is science. Every time you turn around, they slapping the deity on something. They look at your brain. Ooh, a god. They look at the sky, the moon and the stars. Ooh, a god.
I thought you were going to talk about the reptilian brain and the serpent god.
Yeah, that's there too, like that snake eating itself repeatedly. But I ain't getting off into that. But that's another reference, right? It says the hippocampus, also called cornu amonis. So that's another name for it. So we got two pagan identifications for this part of the brain. One named after Greek god, or reference to a Greek god. One named after Egyptian god. It says cornu amonis. Amon was an Egyptian god near whose temple Ammonia, or the salt of Ammon, was prepared. The hippocampus is also called Ammon's horn because the two hippocampi bend around in the form of the horn of a ram. You mean to tell me scientists saw how this stuff bend in the human brain and the best they could come up with was a reference to the Egyptian god Ammon? That's the best they could come up with. Or a sea monster that pulled Neptune's chariot? That's the best somebody who's scientific-minded could come up with. Are you atheists really this dumb? You cannot be this dumb if you tell you don't see that these people are pushing deities on you left and right. They do it more than we do. They don't get that part of the brain named after two references to a deity, to a god. It's a religion. Religions promote God. They glorify God. The human brain is the most complex part of the human body. And they looked at all that complexity and said, hippocampus, Ammon, or Ammon. That's what they did. Why do they keep pushing religion on you? If it's a deity, it's religion. You cannot get away from that. Pushing religion. This is religion. If it got a God reference, that's religion. Any atheist will admit that. Because I'm starting to see it's a lot of fake atheists on this app. Y'all ain't no real atheists. Real atheists don't want you pushing any kind of deities on them. They don't believe in the stuff. How you gonna tell me you don't believe in this stuff, but you accept it? Everywhere you go, the people you look up to put gods on you. Every time they discover something in the sky, on the ground, pushing gods. But let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. Let's go to Genesis 1. We wind it down, but God, man. And it's just a tip, y'all. I cannot give y'all all of them. Some of y'all finding stuff out. I didn't have that reference to Atlas in my notes. I didn't know about that. Keanu heard about that. Maybe she had a back or neck injury at one point, or maybe she just was Googling. I don't know how she knew about that.
I'm in school. That's how I know about it.
Okay, she in school. Why do I have an atlas vertebrae? Why is it that when y'all looked at this, y'all decided we're going to name it after Atlas? You know, the Greek god who held the world on his shoulders, as they call it. Y'all ain't got no originality. You mean to tell me when y'all make new discoveries, the only thing that comes to y'all mind are deities? They do this a lot, y'all, more than you can count. I might have to do a documentary on this, y'all. This is documentary level information I'm giving y'all. You follow what I'm saying? This is how we get on the ABT University. This is how we get down. We get very educated. They playing with y'all. You're not no real atheist. You're following theists. A theist is somebody that promotes and deals with deities. Your worldview is filled with theism. Not atheism, theism. You have nowhere to run. Won't you call up your favorite scientist and ask them, why you decided to name that after a deity? You know, I mean, in reverence. Like, it's not like something you discover that you hate and you named it after that. Genesis 1, 24 and 25. Let's see what else God created. Well, see, when I think about this stuff that I'm telling y'all, I think about God. When I think about my vertebrae and my eyeball and my brain, I think about God, God, God. He created all of that. They think about it. They think about God, God, God. How are we different, y'all? How are we different? How stupid can y'all be as an atheist if you can't see that these guys are throwing religion on you? They'll make all kinds of excuses for these people. Go ahead and read that, man.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 24. And God said, let the earth bring forth a living creature after his kind, on the earth after his kind. And it was so.
Okay, so now we got cattle, we got land animals, and we got bugs. That's what creepy things are, bugs and like lizards and stuff, right? Like I said, I cannot go to every single species of animal. So all I got to do is give y'all a few examples, right? So then we're going to do, we're going to go to another website. And this website is mentalfloss.com. Mental floss, like your mentalfloss.com. The title of this article is 7 Animals with Grand Mythological Names. It didn't say mythological creatures. It said 7 animals with grand mythological names, meaning these mythological names were given to animals already established to exist in nature. Let me show y'all this. They said, number 1, the sea mouse. This is its scientific name, because, you know, every animal has a scientific name, by the way, right? It says, well, that is fact. Let me see if I'm going to read it. Oh, I'm going to read the intro. It said, identifying a new genus of species is a pretty big deal. Now, did y'all hear that? Identify a new genus of species is a pretty big deal. It's like discovering a new planet or a new moon, right? That's a 2-for-1, by the way. New moon, you get that? Hebrews, new moon, right? But it says, identify a new genus of species is a pretty big deal. Like proud parents, scientists often give their discoveries the biggest, most impressive name they can think of. This woman who wrote this article right here, even she, her name is Kate Horowitz. Kate Horowitz. Even this woman is saying that when, like our parents, scientists often give their discoveries the biggest, most impressive name they can think of. So that means when these scientists came up with Neptune and Hippocrates and Ammon and Iris, to them, that was the biggest, most impressive names they could think of. Why would the name of a deity or a god be the biggest and most impressive thing a scientist who doesn't believe in God could think of? Somebody tell me that. Y'all know that don't make no sense. Y'all ain't stupid. Don't let these atheists who are stupid themselves talk to you like you stupid. We gonna keep it real over here. So she done already laid it out, but I already been telling y'all that. This is the first one on the list. The sea mouse. This is the scientific name. Aphrodita aculeata. Anybody recognize that first name? Aphrodita? Anybody recognize that? Aphrodite. Look what it says. This furry sea worm was named for the Greek goddess of beauty and love by none other than Carl Linnaeus himself. So Carl Linnaeus, I think it's Linnaeus. He couldn't think of anything other than Aphrodite for a sea mouse. Look what it says. Was the name a joke? Sort of, but not the one you think. By invoking Aphrodite, Linnaeus was actually commenting on the fact that a sea mouse at rest bears some resemblance to a lady's genitals. Historians have noted that during Linnaeus' time, mouse was also slang for vagina. So this guy discovered this particular variety of mouse known as the sea mouse, right? And he named it Aphrodite. I want an atheist to tell me why. Why do they keep going to these gods? Why, Kevin?
Hey, they believe in something.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? Why they keep doing this? Let's see two. Armadillo lizard. Uroboros cataphractus. Right? The mighty serpent Uroboros is a classical symbol of infinity. This is what Stephanie was getting at. Remember about that serpent, Stephanie?
Yeah.
Right? It says,
yes,
Uroboros, right? With no beginning and no end. The armadillo lizard is somewhat less dignified. The little South African reptiles are covered in plates of spiny armor, and when threatened, they bite their own tails and curl up, leaving potential predators with a ball of spikes. It's an effective strategy. It's also really, really cute. And by the way, Uroboros, that's a reference we read earlier to Uranus. That's another pagan god. So this guy discovers the armadillo lizard. He decides to call it Uranus, after a Greek god. Why? Why do they keep doing this? Why? This is science. I thought science had nothing to do with religion. They look at God's creation and they see God. That's what comes to mind. Oh, look at this. I think of a God. That's religion. It's over for y'all atheists. You can run the science all you want. That's another religion. It's over. They're glorifying this. Like the woman said, like proud parents, they name their biggest discoveries based on that. That's what it said. These people telling you the truth. They can all see this. This is the millipede, known, his scientific name, Tasmaniosomo anubis. Anybody know who Anubis was? See, sometimes it tells you, sometimes it don't.
God.
Yep. Of what people though, Ariel?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, Stephanie? Anybody? Of what religion? What people? Egypt. Kemet, Egypt. So Millipede says in the earth. Now listen to this, Kevin. Remember I told you I was gonna get you one later. In early 2015. That's late enough for you, Kevin.
That's very recent.
In early 2015, researchers reported that they had named a newly discovered species of millipede after the Egyptian god Anubis. That's 2015. That's 2015, y'all. What is that? 7 years ago? My math might be off. What'd you say on Ariel?
I said they're just following tradition.
Yeah, they just following tradition.
Yep, more
you mean,
tradition right there.
Right. You mean to tell me in 2015, as woke and as free as these atheist scientists are, the best he could come up with for that was Anubis? See, Satan is real shrewd, y'all. See, these atheists have been duped. We've been trying to tell y'all, there's a God. He's going to punish you. If you don't repent, he's going to send you to hell. And y'all, no. We believe in science. We believe in scientists. And they got you worshiping these other gods, which in another class we can show you are demons, which they mean you're worshiping the devil. So essentially, they're just giving the devil all the glory for God's creations. Because every time you put a pagan God label on something, that's giving honor to the devil. So y'all really devil worshipers. Still a religion. See, this thing is deeper than y'all know. These amateur atheists coming on here with these outdated arguments and philosophies. Y'all are not ready for this. Y'all ain't ever heard this. You want to jump on the stage and get obliterated with these same old weak arguments. Dude, you are in a religion. You don't even know what you believe. You don't even know what you caught up in. You ain't did the research. You ain't sat back and wondered why they keep naming all this stuff after God if they're so anti-religion. If they're scientists. Well, let me show you something else. This one right here. Number 4. Thor's hero shrew. And his scientific name is Scutothorax thori. Come on, y'all seen the Avengers. Y'all know who Thor is.
Exactly.
You feel me? Come on. It says, it's less than a foot long, but the Thor's hero shrew is tough. His power comes from his super strong interlocking spines, which lets the animal plunge into crevices of rock in search of worms. Right. So, you know, they got the name. The name was inspired by how strong Thor is. Right? So they looked at this hero shrew, and they thought Thor. That's the Norse goddess. Norse god, I mean. Norse god. All of these are scientists doing this, y'all. They don't believe in any deities. How come every time they discover something, they want to give glory to a deity? And just to remind y'all, I got to keep reading this over again because I love that she said this. She said, and I quote, like proud parents, scientists often give their discoveries the biggest and most impressive names they can think of. So these deities are big and impressive to them. That definitely sounds like something you reference. I mean, you reference, don't it? If it's big and impressive to you, come on, y'all. You cannot be this stupid as an atheist. This one is called devil fraud. Listen to this. My Bible believer should know this one. Devil fraud. Beelzebufo and Pinga.
Yeah.
Yep. Y'all know that. Come on. They even throw a Baal up in there. Canaanite business. They get ancient with this. What ain't they? Come on, man. Let's stop. I ain't even, y'all already know about them. Number 6. Parasite nematode. This is his scientific name. Closina. It says there is a deity for everything. See, they're even telling you in this article.
Wow.
There's a deity for everything. Closina was the
Now this goes to objection mistrial.
Exactly. Let's call this a mistrial. This is a mistrial right here. Let's stop. It says there's a deity for everything. Closina was the Roman goddess particularly Cloaca Maxima, or Great Drink. She is rarely invoked these days, but her memory survives deep inside a kangaroo. There is an entire genus of nematodes. They're like little small things. I think they're like bacteria or something, or parasites, right? It says there is an entire genus of nematodes that live exclusively in the stomachs of kangaroos and wallabies, and each one bears the goddess's name. So y'all know nematodes are real small. So you mean to tell me they even got something really tiny? From the greatest to the smallest. They are pushing God. Y'all know how little a nematode is? Look it up when you get a chance. From the planet to the tiniest organisms. They pushing religion. And the atheists follow the scientists. Why do they keep throwing gods at me? Why? Come on, y'all. This is the last one on the list. Sassy-saurus. It says, it's extremely rare to find an intact dinosaur skeleton. Most fossils that we have today were discovered in bits and pieces. Such is the case of the Sassy-saurus, a plant-eating dinosaur found in South Brazil. The fossil was missing one leg, and so the research team is for Sassy, a one-legged prankster from Brazilian folklore. Right? By all accounts, Sassy is quite a nuisance. He steals children's toys, sours milk, annoys dogs, and keeps popcorn from popping. There's been no word yet as to whether the dinosaur did the same thing. So this is based off of a Brazilian, either a demon or some kind of evil pranking spirit, which is still belief in a spirit or something. And these are modern day scientists naming these discoveries. You found a dinosaur skeleton, and you thought God, deity, spirit. Why are all these scientists so religious minded? Can anybody explain this stuff to me? Why? Why do they keep doing this? Everything they find. This is a religion. There's no such thing. That's what I was telling y'all last week. Technically, there's really no such thing as an atheist. Because all you got left is science if you deny God. And now I'm taking you to science, and they're throwing gods at you. Why? Because like a proud parent, they name their biggest and greatest discoveries after stuff they consider to be big and impressive. And they always naming stuff after God. Let's move on. Like I said, we winding it down, but I want to give y'all a real gut buster today. Right? Now, we're going to go to one more place and we're going to go to one more scripture. I keep telling y'all, man, you are not ready for this. This is religion. You cannot debate this unless you want to redefine what religion is. That's what you got to do. You got to redefine words. You got to deny evidence. I don't want to talk to anybody like that. Now, I don't want to talk to somebody in denial. I cannot stand talking to people in denial. Deal with the evidence. You ain't got to like it, but admit that, hey, this is religion. All up and through here. Then we're going to Wikipedia. It says, list of bacteria genera named after mythological figures. Now, a lot of y'all might not know what genera means, right? It is the plural of genus. And we're going to look up genus for you right quick so you can already know. This is just biologyonline.com. It says a genus is a taxonomic rank comprised of species groups based on shared attributes, having similar structures or distinct characteristics, or being phylogenetically related. It is one of the 8 major taxonomic ranks in the biological classification of living things. It is below the family and above the species. So now we're dealing with, notice we dealt with insects. Oh, no, insects are next, by the way. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Whoa, let me make sure. My bad. This is last. I'm going down the chain, right? I went from plants to animals. Now I want to go to insects. Then we're going to deal with this. Hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. Just remember that. Now we're going to, this is watermark.silverchair.com. Watermark.silverchair.com. And the name of this is Family Names of Insects based on genera. I'm glad I read that definition because I had to read it for y'all anyway. Family names of insects based on genera derived from Greek or Roman mythology. Family name of insects. Now we're dealing with the bugs, y'all, the creepy things. You see this? We don't went from space, the sun, the moon, the stars, the planet. We don't went to humans. We don't went to animals. Now we're dealing with bugs. Every category we go to, they keep pushing gods on us. But it's not a religion. this is the family name. It says it gives you the family name and it gives you the mythological figure in this chart. First we got Athropide. And it says, this is from Atropos, was one, let me make this a little bigger. Here we go. It said, Atropos was one of the three fates. She severs the thread of human life. If anyone of y'all ever saw Disney's Hercules, y'all ever saw that before? When they had those three witches and they all were sharing that eyeball, and whenever somebody died, they cut their little thread. Go back and watch the Hercules movie. That's what that's referring to, right? So this is Greek mythology, which means if it's related to Greek mythology, it's related to the religion, the God, right? Here's another one. Aries, this is the name of the book on the bug classification. Aries-Sinidae. Where do they get that from? Remember, scientists are coming up with these names, right? It says Erisina was a name of Venus from her temple in Erissus, Sicily. So all of these are classifications of bugs. Y'all know how many bugs it is? How many different kind of bugs it is? So scientists came up with different classifications for different kinds of bugs, and all of these classifications are named after pagan gods.
Sounds like they're dropping dimensions. Pretty soon they'll be on rocks, which is the first density.
Actually, now that you mentioned, well, we ain't gonna go there today, but I'm just letting you know. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, right? Like I said, if I dealt with every single thing, we'd be here to next Sabbath. I'm not even exaggerating. Look at this. Here's another one. There's another breed of insect. Remember, it says family names of insects. There's another family name of insects. Hesperides. Hesperides were the daughters of Atlas. That's for you, Keanu. The three sisters guarded trees with golden apples. So we got a family name of insect named after three sisters guarding the three daughters of Atlas. Were the daughters of Atlas. What they got to do with bugs, y'all? What do bugs got to do with the daughters of Atlas? Somebody said some of these references don't even make any sense. We're just throw some Greek paganism on it. We're going to throw some gods in it. These are all scientists doing this. These are not Christians. Here's another category. It says Japhet, right? It says Japhet was the mythological progenitor of the I think for the Gypsies. It says Japhet of southern Italy. So they believe this classification of bugs is named after some deity who's supposed to be the progenitors of the Japhet of southern Italy. What they got to do with any bugs? Here's another one. Loridae or Loridae. It says Lories were household gods. So this classification or family name of insects gets its name from a tradition where people believe that when their ancestors died, they became gods. What they got to do with bugs, Kevin? Nothing. But so why they keep throwing gods on it? Keep moving. Right? We're just going down. I'm trying to get down to the smallest thing. We don't went from bugs. We on bugs now. Now we're going to get down to bacteria. You can't even see bacteria. Goodness. Not the naked eye. Here's another one. I ain't going to read through all of them. I'm just going to skip past some. This is another set called the Peridae. It says Pieris was the daughter of Zeus. What they got to do with bugs, y'all? Why do scientists look at these classifications of insects and think daughter of Zeus? What do a bunch of insects got to do with the daughter of Zeus? Here's another one, right? Psychidae. Psychidae. That's the name of the family of insects. Where does it come from? Psyche was a beautiful girl with whom Cupid fell in love. She is represented with the wings of a butterfly, and the name signifies soul and butterfly. So she's a beautiful girl with whom Cupid fell in love, and Cupid was a god. The god of love. Y'all know that. What does this got to do with some bugs? That's where these family of insects got it from, right? Y'all should be able to recognize this one. Saturnidae. What that sound like, y'all? What it sound like, Kevin? Saturnidae. Saturn. It's right down the name. It says the most important of the Titans. Saturn was the Roman equivalent of the Greek chronos, time. And by the way, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but Zeus was the son of Kronos. So that's a deity. It don't say that too, but I know that just from my own research. So there's another reference to a pagan god, by the way. But it says the most important of the Titans. Saturn was the Roman equivalent of the Greek chronos. That's crazy. Check this out. And then we got Uranidae, right? And it says, and this is from Urania was the muse of astronomy and celestial forces. More reference to Greek deities and Greek mythology. So that, I didn't read through all of them, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 family names for insects, and every last one of them is a reference to Greek mythology or paganism. Religion. Every last one of them. Oh, and by the way, they got the dates on these bad boys too. Just going down the list. 1914, 1978, 1978, 14. These are all relatively recent. That late in the game, and they're still giving paganism and religion all of this attention. Now let's go to the last one before we read the scripture. Have I made the point yet? Do y'all see that atheism and science are religions yet? Do y'all see it yet? Is anybody still in denial about what they're looking at? I didn't hear that. Talk louder. Can y'all see that yet?
I think that's pretty clear to me.
I mean, it's pretty clear. Now we're going back to Wikipedia. This is under list of bacteria genera named after mythological figures. Right? We got bacteria known as Janibacteria, named after Janus, a god in Roman mythology with two faces. Right? Wow. You also have a bacteria known as Amphictya or Amphitrite, a sea goddess and wife of Poseidon in Greek mythology. Right? Let's see what else we got here. We got a bacteria known as Demetria or Demeter. This is named after the Greek goddess of harvest. I'm just going down this list. I ain't gonna read all of them, right? We got let's see. We got Helia or Hel, right? This is the name of the bacteria, named after a Greek sea goddess, right? We got another bacteria known as Melitia or Melitia, right? It says in Greek mythology, Melit was one of the Naiads, daughter of the river god Aegeus, and one of the many lovers of Zeus and his son Heracles, also known as Hercules. So this is another bacteria. These are all scientists naming this stuff after God, right? We got another bacteria known as Nicaea or Nicaea. It says in Greek mythology, Nicaea or Nicaea was the Naiad nymph of the springs or fountains of the Greek colony of Nicaea in Bithynia, right? Or else the goddess of the adjacent lake, Ascanius. So it may have a Greek goddess, right? We got another bacteria known as Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus, right? And it's named after a Roman earth and harvest goddess married to Saturn, right? Ain't even gonna read no more. They even named bacteria from the biggest things you can see to the things you can't even see with the human eye. They name it after gods. That's religion. And scientists are all doing this. Biologists, astronomers, chemists, botanists, they're all doing this. And this is who the atheists follow. This is religion. Secrets revealed, y'all. Now, Romans chapter 1. It's the last one. Why are these people playing with me, Kevin? Why they playing with me?
Leave you alone.
Leave me alone, bro. Y'all amateurs. You ain't even an atheist, dude. You can't even run to science. They throwing religion at you. You cannot escape the God of creation. Romans chapter 1, 19 to 23.
Romans chapter 1, verses 19 to read. Because that which may be known of God is manifest in it, for God hath showed it unto them.
And this is talking about when God was revealing himself to the Gentile world, outside of the Israelites. Right? It said that which is known of, because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, but God has showed it unto them. So they know there's a God. They know that, just like atheists know. But watch what it says. Go ahead and read.
For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and godliness, so that they are without excuse.
For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen. We can see the invisible things concerning God clearly seen by what? It says, from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made. That's how we know the invisible exists, because we can see the stuff that he made. The visible stuff that he made, right? It says, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Right? But watch what it says they did. Go ahead and read.
21. That when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, even when thankful.
It said because when they knew God, they glorified him not as God. Giving God the glory means acknowledging him, promoting him. Right? They didn't do this. What did they do?
But became vain in their imagination, and their foolish heart was darkened.
It said, but became vain in their imagination, and their foolish heart was darkened. What happened when they did this?
Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools.
Professing themselves to be wise, scientists, because scientists means somebody who got knowledge, who got wisdom. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Same thing with the atheists. And what did they do?
And changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to the corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things.
What did they do? They changed the glory of the uncorruptible God. So they changed giving glory to the uncorruptible God. That's the true God of creation, the God of the Bible. And changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Right? What did they do? They took the glory of God and they changed it to an image made like the corruptible man and to birds. In other words, they made idols. And when they made these idols were their God. That's what they did. Read verse 25. That's the one I want you to get. Read that.
Who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen.
So they changed the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. How do they do that? Through idols. What do idols represent? Pagan, false gods. It's still religion. So what did these scientists do? They say, oh, there's no God. They don't really believe that, y'all. They're just denying the God of the Bible. So what did they do? They changed the truth to a lie, and they served the creature more than creation in the form of idolatry. That's why everything in science we've been coming across have been after pagan gods, because they really believe this stuff. You ain't going to tell me they keep promoting this stuff, they don't believe it. They keep getting reference to it, and they don't believe it. So scientists are really nothing but pagans. And pagans are really nothing but devil worshippers. And the atheists follow the scientists. And any worship you're doing to a deity, if you promote him, if you're throwing him in my face, if you're giving him reverence and glory, that is religion. You cannot redefine the word to suit how you feel. Check your feelings at the door. So, sisters and brothers, we have shown you secrets revealed. Science and atheism are religion. So the next time you get an atheist and he try to tell you, I don't follow religion, I follow science. Show him all this religion in the science that he follows, because this is all religion. He ain't going to be left one or two options. Now he just got to be living in a void. I can't deal with religion. I can't deal with science. Maybe, just maybe, he'll see that the reason why he can't run from religion and deities is because there is a true religion and there's a true deity. So if you're trapped, no matter what you do, then you might as well go and serve the true and living God through his true religion, which is the laws, the statutes and the commandments, and belief in his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, a.k.a. Yeshua, a.k.a. Yahushua, a.k.a. whatever y'all call him. We'll be back after these messages. All right, everybody. First of all, we'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. Just to let y'all know again, we open the Clubhouse room every Saturday, every Sabbath at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's also what time we go on the air on Blog Talk, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I try to play some nice music for y'all for about 30 minutes, and then the class itself starts around 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Most of y'all already know this. If anybody's interested in ordering a past class, you can do so by going to our online store. This information is on my thumbnail, under my bio. The website link is absolutebibletruth.com/store. Again, that's absolutebibletruth.com/store. And people have been taking advantage of that online store, I see. And as y'all can see, the information only keeps getting better, keeps getting stronger. As long as God have allowed me to have breath in my body, I'm going to keep bringing this as hard as I can. Right? So I thank God for that. Also, if anybody's interested in making a donation, if you feel blessed by what you're hearing and you just like to support it, you can support this ministry. You can do so one or two ways. The first way, of course, is through PayPal. This information is also under my bio, using our email address. That means you can also email us at this address, which is absolutebibletruth4eva@yahoo.com. That's absolutebibletruth, the number 4, EVA@yahoo.com. You don't spell out the word for, you have to type the numerical value for. So it's absolutebibletruth4eva@yahoo.com. And of course, the second way you can donate is through Cash App, using the Cash App tag, which is $, capital ABTM, lowercase s. Again, that's $, capital ABTM, lowercase s. And that simply stands for Absolute Bible Truth Ministries. And let me take this time to thank everybody for the donations they have been sending. And if I get an opportunity, because I forgot last week, I'm going to try to thank y'all individually, because I usually try to do that. Right? But right now, we're going to have Ariel, a.k.a. the Prince of Positivity, give us a brief summary of what we learned today. Are you available, Ariel? Are you there?
Shalom, shalom. Can you hear me?
You're loud and clear on my end.
Awesome. All praises. To God be the glory. So, first and foremost, we've got a couple of announcements I wanted to